Oh well.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Darker Than Black. It's an anime, not racist thing.
Good, Dark. Good. That's good to know.
Just want to put it out there. Search it up. It's a real thing.
Oh shit. Maybe I will.
I'm going back to party.
All right.
Hello. What's happening? What the fuck is happening? I'm finna blow.
Blow my dick, pussy.
Uh,
Oh.
fucking kill yourself. Anyways. Yo. Oh my god. Mine, switch to the other side.
Oh, there they
Oh
come.
my.
Okay. They're
Just
coming.
switch to their side so they can have full CG. Man, if I knew I could come late, I would have fucking did it.
What you talking about? Crazy. You crazy. Shit.
Can you guys switch?
Oh shit. We're back. What?
What's up? Why are you switching? Hello?
What the
we are... Oh, is this working? I'm hoping it's working. Let's see. There we are. Alright, had to do a small settings change just so that way I didn't feel like I was speaking to nobody. Rather watch this Oriental, they have a whole joke, 25 minutes to start a 4v5. Let's go Titans. Alright, so, not quite a lively, I'd say, But, this is what is now known as the Nefarious League, formerly Blizzard League, Junior Varsity Grand Final Championship match, whatever you want to call it. We have Calibrate Titans in a 4v5 for this first map, one of their players being unable to show up due to some conflicts, I presume, with a scheduling, really, against Desolate, formerly known as Calibrate Legion. So, one Calibrate and one former Calibrate team in the finals. Interesting sort of dynamic between them. I know that yesterday, actually, these two teams sort of faced off. I was going to use a different word, but I think that's just keep it simple, stupid rule. Going to come out here as I'm just going to keep it at Desolate actually faced Calibrate Titans last night on Coastline, actually, and won 8-7 in a 5v5. So, considering that it's a 4v5 here, I don't think that it's going to be a likely win from Titans, at least not on this map. And it's going to be a tall task for them on this map, and in general, they are from the loser's bracket, presumably, since Desolate does have a one-map advantage for this, actually. So, they just need to win 2 maps, actually, to end up winning the series.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can. Attackers have located a bomb.
Alright, and now as you can tell, I'm going to be trying to hold down Armory and Throne here. Strongest side on the defense. We'll have to see if they can, if that 4v5 sort of nullifies that natural sort of advantage of the site being this sort of built to favor the defense. Admittedly, this is an attacker favoring map, so the fact that the complexity and the rest actually of Desolate, pardon me, are going to be defending or attacking this side first does give them that bit of an advantage that they might need, as well as the fact that they're in a 5v4 situation, so not really the spot that Titans wants to be in at the moment. Now there goes actually one shot taken out for the first kill of this series, actually by Kiki as the Sledge. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. And now, actually, as you can tell, Darker are going to be trying to open up something without actually being the hatch there over by Split, using those Hibana pellets for. That's a sort of the strongest function, I'd say, of the Escargots, and now trying to engage in a firefight there with General. Both of them actually lower. General being on the worst side of things, really. Now Darker going to try and approach site here. The mute there of Lucius, pardon me, going to be trying to look for something, but unable to so far. Now it's a 3v5 with more than half of the round, close to 2 minutes here to be wasted. The MP went down, so unfortunately that will actually take down the Kaid Claw, and the Thermite Charge goes down on the barrel wall, and now this side is being torn to bits here. Titans seem to be in a bit of a... looking like chickens with their heads cut off here, and now going to try and hold down the objective. They have to deal with the entirety of Desolate here in a 5v3 with just under half of the round remaining. And now Ezreal going to be holding down Fireplace as that actually would be part of that wall there in yellow. On that yellow wall has been opened up. Nitro going out to no avail. Barely misses Lucius. So lucky for Ezreal, does not hit his teammate. General will try and hold down Barrel's side as Lucius sitting there. Now going to throw Nitro up to the Ceiling lowers himself a lot, jeez, and finished off by the Hibana of Darker. And now JR gonna try and open up the rest of Yellow Wall there, using his second thermite charge instead of on the maintenance wall. 4v2 though, Ezreal takes on Complexity. Still, the two remaining members here of Titans are outnumbered 2-1. General the last one on site, Ezreal trying to flank around here. General gonna try and just hold down that angle, and now Ezreal trying to flank out. That would actually be Mind as the thermite double with the kill from Kiki, and Mind gets the final kill of the round. On to Ezreal for an early lead here, 1-0. Alright, messy first round there from Titans, admittedly not being able to really run full strategies since they only have 4 members, missing a central part of the equation in Daredevil, who, if I'm remembering correctly, is supposed to be their IGL, sort of a key to the sort of puzzle, really, to the mechanics of Titans, and so felt that they're in a bit of a mess, and you saw that last round as they ended up bringing themselves to a 5v3 due to one-shot spawn peeking and actually getting counter spawn peeked. And now, as you can tell, one-shot trying to just take out some drones here, bring in that Kaid once again, trying to keep those walls shut down. This time, still bringing the mute, pardon me, actually going to be bringing the exact same lineup, so this might be what they would normally run with one extra operator, which I would not know who that would be. Maybe a smoke? That's my best guess, but I don't know exactly. That's an interesting question to ask, really. And now, One Shot really going after that, that one drone. Now, Lucius gonna try and let his teammate back in as, actually, site is being barricaded. This is something you don't normally see teams doing. My best guess is that the 3 remaining members, and then the one roamer of Ezreal is going to roam above in Cash Corridor, actually right into Cash Dash. Now moving to the top of Dragon Stairs, they are going to try and slow down the attack as they push actually from across Cafe and then presumably down into Barrel side, actually. But my best guess is the reason why they're going to be barricading those doorways there is to slow down the attack and force them to have to open those up, really. Or at least to delay sort of the progression, really, into the site and alert them to where exactly they happen to be. And now going to be trying to hold down the site will be one shot as that Kaid has 1 claw left. Ezreal actually on the roam here, being droned out there, but has the ERC to cover him. General also on the roam with that, not on the roam, on site actually as an anchor with that ADS. There's 3 ADSs and then 4 mute jammers. Lucius was watching us. That cam gets taken out by the Hibana, actually, of Darker, who has not gotten the hatch yet, is actually electrified, and they would have to rely actually on Mind as the Thatcher to get it, but he's all the way back on site, so at spawn, actually, so gonna have to wait a bit for that one to go through. And no, third anchor would actually be Lucius as that mute, having those 4 mute jammers, gonna try and remove, just trying to not only keep some walls closed, because there are 3 walls and 2 Kaid claws cannot handle 3 walls, especially in this situation. Kiki going for the vertical play, but it gets lowered to less than 1 bar by actually a Nitro from One Shot as the Kaid. Now trying to light up, that looks to be Lucius as the mute there, spotting his head, trying to find him, but unable to so far. Kiki trying to play through that, and now about a minute left here for Desolate. Ezreal taken down, and that might be the start of the end of this round, really, if you wanted to put it that way. And now going to drone out sight will be JR there. And now, Monopelt's going down actually on that wall. It looks to be jammed, actually, so we'll be unable to open that up. Not until they remove that mute jammer on it. Somehow, maybe a frag grenade or an explosive from Complexity would help them. But until then, cannot really bust through that wall and put any more pressure on namely General, who's going to be playing behind Throne here. Watching that now open Barrel's wall. EMP charge goes out to remove the mute jammer, and with that, Darker going to look to now to actually open that up. He does. 4v3 though. General takes down Mind, and it's now closer to even. General taken down though, and there goes JR with a kill. Removing him from the equation sets up just Lucius and one shot into 2v4. Spot's underestimated, takes him out 3v2 and the diffuser is down. Less than 10 seconds here, 2v2. Lucius takes out one. 2v1 now, Darker looking for the plant here as he takes down one shot. It's up to just Lucius to stop this plant. Gets a double onto Kiki. It's a 1v1, plant is about to be hit. And Lucius gets a 3k to stop the plant and wins the round there for Titans. And we're rehosting. Excellent. I'm probably gonna have to...
Yo, you guys know.
You're gonna have to get him to leave.
You guys know, like in the league, it's what they said. Y'all have to 4v5 it.
Damn, my boy's only 8 elo in it now. Shit. Hello.
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 Is it like
So
in the
you
thing?
guys, you guys haven't
know
played the 4v5 since you guys started off as 4v5.
That's the
You can't bring him in since the match already started.
Yeah.
that's the rules.
That's the rules.
Hello.
Just go to party. Just go to party. We're ready. You can start it.
No, hold on.
She allowed it.
Ruby did?
Bro.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Since I'm guessing,
Whatever. Whatever, guys.
I'm guessing they're crying, so she just started
Yeah, they're
it.
probably complaining beyond. It's
Yeah.
fine. Let's just go. Whatever. Ready up. I don't care. It's whatever.
Are you guys ready so we can start it?
They have
Yeah,
already. Our guys need to put the. Our guys are
They
the
don't
ones who need
They're
to.
here already.
Like,
Start it. If this shit begins from the beginning, I'm actually leaving.
no, okay.
Okay, we're back. We rehosted and all that. Actually, as you see, Dara has now arrived, actually, for Titans, and I'm sure that's going to be an energy boost, a bit of a cavalry appearing for them right at the right moment. Really try to say they're complaining, but they wouldn't allow a fair 5v5 match. So Dara, as you saw, can be brought in here. And it's 1v1, 1-1-1, not 1v1, 1-2-1, however you wish to put it. These two teams are tied here. One round being on the side of each team, really. So, considering how that went, actually, for Titans, surprisingly well. They were in a 4v5 and managed to have a 50% success rate. And now they'll be going, actually, to initiation and office here for their second defense. I was about to say first defense, but this will be their first defense after the rehost. Gonna look to actually extend themselves into bunk. That would be with the mirror. I don't think I've seen this before. This is gonna certainly be interesting because I have not actually seen this sort of play actually by a team. We'll have to see how Desolate tries to play around and tries to sort of accommodate with it to it. Pardon me. That mirror window likely gonna be on that middle wall and ADS covering it. Does appear to be fairly exposed to that door right behind it, that break door, really, so certainly going to be a problem for them to worry about, really. That Thatcher actually there, that'd be Mind eyeing it, as you saw with his drone at the very end of the prep phase, going to hopefully try and deal with it or potentially alert his teammates to that, and now going to now look to put down his mirror windows. Will be General using all those rotates that have been set up by both him and presumably Lucius, as well as that mirror. And there goes the other one on the cash stash. Not surprised about that one. An additional sort of extension of sightline's going to go down, as you see, opening up this soft wall here to get some additional areas to see, make it a bit more impactful. They sound pressed. What the I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's a good question to ask them. And now Dara going to be holding down an angle there on a break, being droned out now, actually, by that looks to be, I'm not even sure, might it be Mind, actually, as the Thatcher, as he's now looking into pushing through break, but going to have to deal, however, with Lucius as the Mutus, the first line of defense, really, does have the combination of shotgun and SMG-11, so depending on how he plays it, he could be facing a very favorable gunfight, especially considering that Mind would be the one swinging him. Going to be on repel there in Mind, and now about a minute and 15 has elapsed, and this certainly seems to be at least messing with how this site has been set up. 4v5 though, Dara takes down Darker for the first kill of this rehost, and the first kill from Dara as well. Interesting to see that he's going to be the first one to make a member of Desolate fall here after that rehost. And now, as you can tell, Complexity trying to push down Yellow Hallway. Interestingly enough, there was not a mirror window there. Seeing that it would actually be a bit smarter to not have it there, gonna actually put it down on that control wall, which is interesting. It might have been either that they were opting to and just didn't feel safe enough, didn't have enough time, or that is genuinely their plan. 3v5 though, there goes Mind, taken out by Lucius, as I said. It's a very favorable situation there for Lucius, and he manages to capitalize. 2v5, one shot takes out Complexity. Now it's up to just JR and Kiki here, facing the entirety of Titans. 1v5, Lucius getting a double onto Kiki, actually, and now underestimated JR gonna try and hopefully win this round back for his team. He does have the diffuser. He has 3 flashbangs. He has those 2 thermite charges, so he can certainly get some walls open if they're left unelectrified or don't have a mute jammer on them, but that seems unlikely. Does have the diffuser as well, so he could certainly go for a defuse, but he's low on time here. There's 30 seconds left. Gonna be lit up there by, my best guess is that would be actually General as the Mira. And now, just holding the angles here, just waiting out the end of this round will be Titans just positioning themselves throughout the remainder of actually that sort of bunk and daycare side. As you can tell, JR seems a bit clueless, gonna just try and hold down an angle here as he waits, saving his KD and giving the round to Titans.
Operators, you are out of time.
Okay, Chelsea. At least I have people in the stream. But now Titan's gonna be up here 2-1 actually, and Lucia's coming out there strong for his team after that 3K before the rehost in that round on Armory and Throne. Did surprisingly well actually, so now they'll be going to Bunk and Daycare as their tertiary site. As I was sort of predicting to myself, they're avoiding drug and storage. I almost said drug and lab, but that would be incorrect. Going to be going to now Bunk and Daycare as their tertiary site. Many teams like to save this as their third site, going to initiation second, but it's usually interswitch between these two sites. And major problem seems to be with lab and storage, drug and storage, whichever one you want to call it, is that it's all about just keeping hold of vertical above, which would be upper arcade and cafe, and that's really hard for a team to hold, especially for a long time in the round, such as the tertiary site of cafe, which would be fireplace and reading, or the tertiary, sometimes tertiary, sometimes primary, sometimes secondary. It'll depend from team to team. Site of dining and kitchen on pillow. Both of those objectives revolve a lot around just keeping vertical for as long as you can, really, denying that from the attack. And now Titan's going to try and set themselves up similar to what we saw last actually round. Now extending themselves exclusively into initiation, not doing any sort of, not messing at all with office, sort of leaving that side alone, that side of their last site alone. Not going to put a move hammer down on that doorway there to help cover that, as well as the fact that it's a castle barricade means that it's going to be a bit harder for them to get, so going to have to rely on something like complexity, or maybe even complexity. Yeah, it's going to be the one. If they want to open that up quickly, really. And now, as you see, the mirror being brought once again, that and castle seems to be the two very common plays for running sort of an extension hold, which we did not see the castle last round, but we did see that mirror. And now mirror window actually being put down on that, as you can see, being held by Azrael as that castle, using some additional holes there. Now the Ash, surprisingly enough, no complexity, has pushed down Arcade Valve, had a barricade on it, so nothing they could really do to stop that. Now she's going to be pushed. Complexity here as the Ash is going to put some pressure on the objective. Pops that mirror is exactly what they wanted, and there goes a lot of the objective. I suppose a double-edged sword in the fact that they made all that adjustment, all that sort of preparations really in those shotgun holes and the mirror window setup, just for it to be gone in one fell swoop by Complexity, just pushing down that balcony. 5v4, the Darker takes down Lucius. Under it, JR now looking for a plant here. 5v3, Darker getting a double onto Azrael. 5v2, Kiki picks off Aerodap. It's up to just General and One Shot. Speaking of One Shot, looks to be at One Shot, really, so needs to be cautious about how he takes these next engagements. And there it goes, taken down. Not just yet by Mind. Complexity TKing Kiki. I don't know why exactly. Mind will finish off One Shot. It's up to just General here. And a almost 1 versus all situation would be a 1v all versus all if Kiki was not TK'd there by Darker. And now, just holding the angle here, just realizing the futility really of any efforts in the situation. Gonna be saving his energy really, saving his KD, and waiting until the next round. And now, a round will actually go to lead. Pardon me, Desolate, and there goes Mind getting the double onto General. Some aggro pushes from him, unable to win the gunfight, but even then a bit extraneous. They had won the round anyways, so At that point, doesn't really matter what you do because you're still gonna win it. Now it'll be 2-2. The two teams have tied up here. Alright, and now two teams tied up. General going to be bringing out the Tachanka, switching off of that. Not surprised, Tachanka's still currently banned with the new season. However, he should be unbanned because he'll have gone through that sort of 3-month grace period, if you wanted to put it that way. He's going to certainly be an interesting addition, speaking into the sort of talking about the future. Has those 10 Shumika grenades, or whatever you want to call them, flame, however you refer to them as, which can cover sort of a chokehold, a bottleneck, for about 5 seconds each, which totals to around 50 seconds of area denial, which is quite a bit. Admittedly, does not cover as much surface area really as a smoke bay would from smoke, or maybe even a Goyo shield, Goyo Volcan. Pardon me, the jerry can going to be the only thing in his kit after the next season, removing that shield. Unfortunately for any Goyo mains, but it might not even cover that much area. It certainly doesn't have the explosion factor. So now that's going to certainly be interesting, as well as the fact that he does have the DP-27, that 70 round LMG, which has surprisingly strong capabilities for destruction as a sort of remodeler, I'd say, of the objective. Although he just... Oh, forgot my phone was on the team channel. Solid. Just to speak as normal me, I suppose. Not that this is a variation of me, it's just an interesting way to really put it there if you wanted to phrase it that way. And now, as you can tell, 3 players on site, 2 players off. 2 players almost above has Azrael, and actually the Jaeger there of Daredap, both roaming almost above the objective, very close to it. Only they would need to put somebody in office to actually roam above the objective. That's the only real spot above site that's that has a soft ceiling, which is into Armory there. And now, speaking of above the objective, Complexity going to try and now push forward. And actually, they're from waiting into Yellow Hallway. And now, Daredap being drawn out there by I'm not sure who, but Desolate going to now know where his location is, or approximately where it is. That's going to make his job a bit harder here. As Dark now just trying to eye that, spotting just a slice, actually, of Daredap, who now moves over to that window there, realizing there's nobody over there. 4v5 though, Azrael takes down JR, and there goes the Thermite. That's not good here for Desolate. Mine lowered, but unfortunately for Daredap, Kiki takes him out. Azrael down and out thanks to Mine, actually, as that Thatcher lowered but not finished off, so it will now be a 4v3 here, and a man advantage will be in favor here of Desolate. However, they've wasted quite a bit of time, and they still need to get some vertical setup. They still need to get walls open. They only have Darker, really, to get those set up. And even then, they need to put down some more, actually, sort of utility, I'd say. And now, looking to potentially trick that would be actually one shot, realizing that it's not there. Takes out his own gadget, trying to prevent them from getting those extra points, I guess. Not sure exactly. Mine now trying to push into sight with his drone, actually droning that out for his teammates. Spotting there in one shot. He gets lowered, not out just yet. From the blue hatch. Lucius as well as General, the other 2 anchors here. And about 20 seconds left. That wall now being opened up. The yellow wall being opened up. 4v2. The Complexity takes down Lucius. 4v1. Complexity getting a double kill on a one shot, but General trades him. It's a 1v3 or 1v2. General getting a double, and now Mine looking for the plant. Kiki going to be covering him. Kiki now going to hit the floor. And got low. Got the kill. If any of you understand that song reference. To get the round for Desolate, who will now be up actually 3-2 here. now going to be going to initiation in office after what happened there. Seemed close, but that was mainly due to General bringing it close with the 3K, just due to what had happened above. The two roamers managing to waste about 1.5 to 2 minutes total, but even then that didn't prove to be enough, and they could not finish off the round, could not waste enough time really of Desolate on the anchors route. So when those walls did collapse, they collapsed hard, and I don't know what exactly was happening there. They did have the mute, they did have the guidance, so they should have been able to lock off all the walls they needed to get rid of, but did not, or something. I don't know exactly. Still, the fact that there's a mind here is that Thatcher was not banned by was left unbanned by both actually Desolate and the defending team of Titans, means that that will actually make getting these walls a lot easier, as you've seen in these past few rounds. And as you can tell, going to be trying that same sort of strategy here to have that same setup, have actually brought the castle to cover it now, actually break, so do not have to really worry about that. There's not a mute jammer on that, so they could be able to break through that, but that would take quite a bit of utility, quite a bit of time to get through that. And now, to focus on the actual objective instead of just one player, gonna look at the extension. Do have those reinforcements there to cover the rotation, as well as that serves sort of the extension. Castle barricade to cover it. Nothing on balcony there to really help with anybody rushing down arcade balcony, but watching that really would be Daredap, as that Jaeger does have some barb on the stairs to help him out. So don't know where the other barbed wire is. It actually is on balcony, as well as another ADS to cover anybody that has to play there. ADS in bunk to focus back on the extension itself. There's Castle Ezreal going to be holding that down. Reinforcement in the middle. Presumably a mirror window would go there, but General actually opting to put down the same two mirror windows that he's holding down sight. Now, Castle Barricade there to help protect the mirror window from a sort of swing, any sort of aggressive pushes, really. And then, obviously, some walls putting down on the yellow side to help cover that. 4v5, though, Daredap takes down mine, and there goes the Thatcher. That's going to make getting the rest of these walls a lot harder. However, Ducker, using a third of his utility, opens up a pretty sizable hole there in that wall, actually, between Cash Stash and Office. Did also remove the mirror window, so makes attacking that side of the objective a lot easier, especially from that side, really. And now about half of the round is elapsed here. Still trying to hold down that extension, but I don't know what exactly is happening on their side, as they no longer have anybody on that, really. Now actually going to sort of move their forces around, move the chess pieces, I suppose, around the board a bit in order to actually get into a position to stop this push coming out here from Desolate on that Cash Stash side onto Office. Very concentrated on their side. All four members, all between 3 rooms there, which are all in relatively close proximity. And now, Reaching Charge goes down there from the IQ once again of Kiki. Now going to try and push forward, deal with the Bandit there of One Shot, who's stuck in Vault now. 3v5 though, General takes down Complexity. So they're just Darker, who's now used another third of utility to get a Vault. Oh, Daredevil getting a double for 2v5 now. It's up to just Kiki and JR once again. 2v4 though. Kiki takes down One Shot. JR removes Daredevil from the equation. It's 2v3 now, almost back to even manpower. 1v3, there goes Kiki. Taken out by Lucius. It's up to just JR now. Again, and Lucius gets the double in the round for Titans, who will actually tie at half, 3-3. Interesting round there. Very strong showings there from Titans, and it seems to alternate between strong showings from Desolate and strong rounds from Titans. It's not like, so the best way to put it is that it's not very close between these two teams. It's always ending in a 1v3, 1v2 maybe, but still that's not the sort of 1v1s that you might expect from a very even matchup, which this is. As you can tell, these two teams just sort of jockeying for position, jockeying for that lead. And speaking, they're sort of fighting for an advantage. One advantage due to them being in the winner's bracket, presumably, is that Desolate, the now defending team here, are going to be actually with a one-map advantage. So if they win this, they'll be on series point. But on the flip side of that, Titan's going to try and sort of recover now, as they're going to try and win this map so that way they can actually even it up, a 1-1 on the series. Now I'm going to take a quick look at scoreboard. Obviously not as balanced as you'd think, considering that we had to rehost at 1-1. But Kiki leading his team with 4 kills. Relatively low all around. This has been a lot more about getting plants down and playing for the plant than really getting a lot of kills and gunning, really. Neither of these teams are very frag heavy. A lot more about the sort of strategies associated with them. And now on the side, actually, of Titans, General leading his team, Lucius leading his team with 4. Behind him would be General with 3, as well as Daredevil. Both of them have 3. Now going to focus on the current, as you can tell, 3 drones being used here by Titans, and Nitro goes out from mine onto 1 shot. I don't know how that happened. What even was that? Oh dear, he looks to be launched. Team Rocket coming out there from mine, as he really does manage to blast 1 shot away again as the Thatcher for a 5v4, pardon me. Now, actually, Complexity trying to hold down that cash corridor, being spotted by the drone, but doesn't even matter. Daredab getting hit right on the noggin by Complexity. And now he's going to just fall back here. Complexity using those melee holes that he set up earlier to watch angles here. Kiki lowered as well. He's going to be roaming above right next to Complexity. Sort of dynamic duo there in terms of actually roaming right now. Sort of the two classics. And now half of the round is elapsed. Not surprised to see those two in that position. Now Darker might be looking for a Nitro here once again. I don't know if that floor is soft. It is actually. Sensing the Nitro, Ezreal going to fall back right away from the Nitro, but now eyeing it actually would be Complexity, still holding that melee hole actually onto the office shower's doorway. Spotting General takes him down as well for a double. It's now a 5v2. This is not the way that was being really planned. 5v1, Complexity getting a 3-piece onto Ezreal. Looking for the squad wipe if this was only Call of Duty. Flawless round, though, as Complexity getting the 4K onto Lucius. And it is now 4-3. Desolate in the lead here. Alright, and now, as you can tell, gonna be trying to actually now hold down initiation and office. And the two teams share a common trait of this site, initiation and office. Both, for them, both actually gonna be their secondary site, and both of them actually bringing that the mirrors once again as mine. Gonna now put that down on the on a different side. If I remember correctly, Titans put it down on the right side. Mine and Desolate putting it down on the left side. I don't know if they're gonna have those, if they're gonna have that sightline that we saw there on the cache corridor that Titans was adding or not, but we'll have to wait and see on that. And this mirror window is certainly gonna make pushing from cache dash a lot more difficult for Titans to do, which is what they were trying to do. That first objective, that first attacking round for them. Admittedly, not really comparing apples to apples here in terms of which objective they're trying to attack, but now going to just be holding down the rest of the site fairly regularly, bringing in that castle once again, but not trying to extend themselves into bunk, pardon me, unlike what we saw earlier from Titans. And it's now going to still be a 5v5 as eyeing the objective, trying to figure out their best way to attack will be Titans. And going to just speak quickly on sort of how this has been going. It's certainly an okay. It's well, complexity last round really popping off. I think that's the best way to begin it. Getting almost an ace there was unfortunately taken from him by Mind getting that very early kill onto one shot as the Thatcher. That just seemed to be a case where no intel was really gathered by. This is map 1.
Attackers have located a bomb.
But just gonna focus on that past round, and then also the other thing is that at least so far Titan seems to be a bit low on intel, really. Not able to get any walls either, but admittedly they were above sites and no real walls for them to get to acquire. But just needed to drone that out, and then obviously note where complexity was, because that's how he got those easy kills. .5v4 though, Kiki taking down Desolate for an early advantage. Well, not necessarily early, considering that half of the round has already elapsed. Mirror window is well being popped, but still an ADS covering Mind as he looks to prep it. As he's ripped that Nitro, holding it now, waiting to throw that out, and potentially get a Nitro kill, but none of the members of Titans are really in a position to deal with that. Now, as you can tell, Azrael and the rest of Titans going to try and sort of figure out where they need to go next. And JR setting out a Nitro does not, however, was shot out of the air, it appears. Fortunate for them, ADS sapping actually flashbangs, it appears, and now EMP is going out as well as the Nitro. Kiki getting the double kill onto Lucius. Kiki getting a, actually that would be JR, pardon me, getting kill onto Azrael. Thought that Kiki got the 3K, so it's a just general and one shot here. One shot gonna go very aggro. Pushes forward for the double for 3v2 now. Only 20 seconds left though, and the diffuser is down. One shot now is on site, but he doesn't have the diffuser. In general, is nowhere near able to cover him, really. Now backing up, looking to get something. Kiki even the 3K last out to one shot. So it's a just general on 1v3, 1v2, 1v1. General getting the double onto complexity. Kiki does not have enough time to grab the diffuser and plant. Goes for the diffuser, not enough time. Mind falling back as well, so even if he went for the kill, wouldn't have been anywhere near prepared to get it. And that round will go to Desolate, who are now going to be up 5-3. So, just a reminder, they got 2 players, rest are free. I'm gonna ignore the sort of a half toxicity in the chat. This is map 1 of 4 technically. I would say 5. This is supposed to be a best of 5, but Desolate has a 1 map advantage, so if these two teams end up going sort of blow for blow and end up being 2-2 tied at the end of the 4 maps, it will go to Desolate since they do have that 1 map advantage, and they will have technically won actually 3-2 map wise. This is going to be sort of an endurance sprint for both of these teams after they did face sort of a butted heads, I think is a good way to put it, sort of fought last night on Coastline in an 8-7 victory for Desolate over Titans. So it's going to be a bit of a close matchup, and it was seemingly at half 3-3, but now with the switch here, it's been very lopsided so far, at least in favor, really, of Desolate, who are up here 2 rounds, which is quite a bit to make up, especially on this map for Titans, it appears, as really knowing their stuff here would be Desolate, as they're trying to now actually play bunk and daycare, almost abandoning really daycare there. No attention being paid to it, no utility, no reinforcements. Only 1 reinforcement, at least so far, in bunk there. A lot of the utility, a lot of the attention being actually paid to deny, to the best of their ability, a Titans push onto the side. 4v5, the one-shot takes down Kiki to get the man advantage early on for his team. Only 30 seconds in, that's not the way that Desolate wanted to open up this round, as they might be moving on to match point here. Or they could be moving on, but now it's going to be a bit more difficult for them as they're down a man now. But 3v5, down 2 actually, as Desolate takes down complexity. And now, as you can tell, going to be trying to hold down actually trying to push through sort of red corridor there. Going to get some assistance in terms of reinforcements right behind him. General as that Buck might be looking for some vertical play from below, maybe? Does have the skeleton key, so could certainly do that if he wished. And now, as you can tell, going to be trying to push forward here. Daredap as that Ash now moving into sort of Dragon Stairs. Does not have to really deal with any sort of interference from, actually, Desolate, who have sort of spread themselves out here. The 3 remaining members all in different rooms. Only one of them actually on site. The other 2 holding those mirror windows down. JR holding that one down. Daredap getting a double onto mine, actually, surprisingly enough. It's just JR in dark here. The 1v5, Lucius managing to pick off JR as I turned away from it. Sorry about that, folks. Darker now going to be in a 1 versus all situation here. Being droned out constantly. Now going to just try and hold down site. He doesn't have any reinforcements around him. He doesn't have any utility. He likely doesn't have a lot of information from his teammates. He has to face the entirety of Titans. This round is almost certainly going the way of Titans here. Gonna be swung there by Daredap for a 3-can of flawless for Titans. And now, Despair had a sort of proverbial kick in the pants happening on the side of Titans, as they're not going to try and come back here. They're still down, but only down 1 round after that very, very strong showing there on the admittedly 3rd site. So obviously Desolate finds that site to be their weakest, their site that they're most uncomfortable on, and it certainly seemed so as they ended up losing flawlessly. Not a single kill came out from any of the members of Desolate. It certainly didn't help that they very quickly went from even to 5v3. Daredap getting some quick kills there and some counter spawn peaks as well, or something of the sort, really. And now, as you can tell, it's going to be actually back to Armory and Throne here for Desolate, and this was their first site. This is their strongest site, their primary site. I'm not surprised at all by that. They'll be trying to actually win this round out to put themselves on map point, match point, game point, whichever one you want to call it, whatever you want to refer to it as, really. And so they'll be going on to, this is going to obviously, here, let me switch the attention for you all. JR now going to try and put down some reinforcements there. I know it's mundane, but it goes on to address the bigger task here, which would be the tall mountain, really, the Titans has to climb. They're down a map by default. They're on theme, which seems to be not necessarily their strongest map, but they are still going blow for blow, really, with Desolate. And they have to win in order to tie this round up. They have to win this round, which is going to be on the strongest site for Desolate, which is Armory and Throne. So really a difficult objective ahead of them, but we'll have to see if they can sort of manage to win that, really, as they're going to try and push, it appears, from top floor, maybe? I'm not sure. They've spread themselves out fairly sparsely. 2 members on one side of the map, 3 on the other. One check droning below, looking for somebody playing below, maybe, I suppose, has a bit of PTSD after Mind blew him away, really, with that Nitro for the first kill of the second half. As Daredap going to try and push forward here, as that IQ spotting a drone that was set up by Mozzie, or captured by Mozzie and placed there, really, is the better way to put it. Now being swung actually by Complexity, he takes down Complexity, so wow! We saw in the very first round of this second half, Complexity getting a 4K, simply because he played it safe, and there was no intel on the side of Titans, but now Daredap coming out here and shutting him down quickly. Probably lost only 1.5 bars, so still has plenty of health, and would be able to deal with, assuming that this is an even matchup, deal with Kiki as that Mozzie, and they're both going to try and just shoot through the walls there, try and sort of scope each other out, figure out where they are. Now Kiki being droned out as he rotates down out of upper arcade and into sort of main arcade entrance to be exact, as the compass mentions. But now pushing forward here is Daredap. He's going to try and find him. Does have that G8 trained on arcade entrance now, as he's just trying to find out where Kiki is spotting just a sliver of him. I don't know if he realized it, but Kiki is now almost certain of where Daredap is. Going to be looking for that potentially. Now, as it actually does appear, Kiki just trying to hide here, being droned out at last. But now trying to take down the drone. Now having to deal actually with Daredap, a bit of a difficult situation for him to be in, but he's wasting a lot of time, and it gets a kill for 4v4 now. Dropping from that balcony will be the Thatcher of one shot. Does trade his teammate for the 4v3, but he wasted a lot of time there. Not the most efficient work, really, from Titans, but speaking of efficiency, they do now have their eyes on the objective. They have about 30 seconds left, and they still need to get a wall open. They haven't gotten a single one open, and they need to deal with the electrics that have been set up, actually, by, that would be Bandit and Kaid, so bringing that duo, really, both of the electric operators, really, the classic and the new one. And now Thermite Charge goes down on the yellow wall, actually destroying that would be Darker. Might have been looking to get a trick down, but unfortunately couldn't, and spotting that would be above General, as he was trying to play vertical, but unable to, and now that's what we're going to try and push in. 3v3 though, JR takes down one shot, and there goes the man advantage. 3v2, Darker takes down Lucius, as Dart getting a double actually on a Lucius and General, but did not have enough time, and it will be a 1v3, and that will be the round for Desolate, who will now be at match point here. Unfortunate there for Titans, and they now have to win 2 rounds in a row. Admittedly, this is the secondary and tertiary sites, or as some people would put it, off sites, really, for Desolate. But still, if they lose this next round, they would actually be put at series point for the next map, which I don't know if whose pick that is. I would have to go and check, really. I'm going to now check as I'm speaking to you all. It would be Villa and Legion defending first on a arguably sometimes attacker side, sometimes defender sided. We'll have to really wait and see map. We'll just have to watch that one as that unfolds. Go into more depth as we reach it, but as we certainly will, considering that this is going to either be 2-0 by the end of this game. It'll either be 2-0 Desolate or 1-1, the two teams tied up map-wise. Now Miro setup being brought once again, and this seemed to be what was really troubling, actually. Titans are still going to put the other one down to really shut down any sort of pushes from that control and cache side, that sort of dragon side, if you wanted to put it that way. And
10 seconds remaining.
so as you can tell, just going to try and actually sort of no extension. We saw that last time from, at least from Titans. I don't think that we actually saw that from Desolate, but we have seen the extension into both office and initiation on the third side of bunk and daycare, but still bringing that castle. So I suppose opting to sort of cut down some sightlines and make holding down this way of holding down the site a bit easier for them, a bit more comfortable, and that is going to be what really matters here for them. But last round was unfortunate there for Titans. They managed to go up 4-3, but by that time that they had reached a 4v3, it cleared out both Kiki and Complexity, who went down very quickly without much of a fight, really, against Daredap, who was entering as the IQ. I mean, at that point, Kiki had wasted so much time. Not necessarily that he had wasted so much time, more so that Titans was so slow on droning him out and figuring out where he was. Daredap didn't really push him, didn't have the intel to safely push him without sort of just going at it and hoping for the best. YOLO, if you wanted to put it that way. That by that time there was just so little time for them to be able to do all the things they would need to do in order to properly put pressure on the site, in order to properly get a plant down. You know, getting at least one wall, and 2 preferably, since they have this thermite, and then getting into putting pressure on site through vertical, eliminating at least 1 anchor to make some space in the objective, and then going in for the plant and having teammates cover you. There was just not enough time to do all of that. Mind, however, going to be supporting his teammate down below. No, that's not his teammate, that's his enemy, actually. Lucius is taken out by Darker, so didn't even need to eye the vertical angle. And now, speaking of vertical angles, General going to be moving below. 4v4 though, Daredap takes down Darker, and there goes another member of Desolate, actually. So that would not be another member, but that would be the first member of Desolate to fall this round. And is now even here, but a minute left here for Titans, who need to seemingly speed up their attacks here, as 2 of them going to be pushing there from the yellow stairs, and the other 2 pushing from control side. Thermite and Thatcher, the classics, really, of hard breaching, gonna try and push forward here. EMP going out there from one shot. His final of 3. Azrael gonna try and crawl up. Nitro goes out and takes down Azrael from Kiki, but he gets down. Not out just yet, though. EMP's gonna disable that battery as well as the ADS covering him. And JR manages to revive him, but almost taken out there by one shot, who's now pushed up towards the objective. 3v3, though, he does finish off Kiki, evening it up here. 3v2, though, he runs right into the crosshairs of JR, who takes him down with one shot, headshot. Daring up getting the double kill as complexity is removed from the equation by General. It's up to just these 2 soft breachers here with the map on the line. 2 versus 1, Mind off site, holding down the diffuser. Spots one who gets Mind running an easy kill there onto Daredap, ran right into him. General lowered by the Nitro there. Mind, he's just gonna be holding the angle. Pushes forward. Mind gets the double and the round for, and not only the round but the game for Desolate, who will now be up 2-0 as they win Theme Park 7-4. Now we're gonna return to the lobby. If I could put you all in on a break screen or something, I would, but I cannot. Unfortunately, I don't have overlays. I don't have the required technology really for that. So just gonna return to the lobby for a few minutes.
Hey yo, you guys need to
GG.
change. You guys need to change some skins. You guys have.
cracking. Your keyboard.
What skins?
Oh,
I don't know. You guys are using skins you're not supposed to. I think it's Lucius. He had a skin on Sophia. He's not supposed to be using.
Alright,
I have default skin.
Do you? Oh, okay, never
Yeah.
mind then. 'Cause that shit, you blended in with the fucking floor, and I couldn't even see you.
No, I have the default.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we call like 8-minute timeout.
Alright, I'll
I
go.
was
Team
gonna give you
jerk off
guys at least
sesh.
5, so I'll be back at like.
Okay,
I'll be
5's
back,
fine.
like,
Okay.
yeah, I'll give
I
you
gotta
guys
eat my
5
point
and I'll
dog.
check in.
Alright.
I gotta go get money from my mommy.
Yeah, I gotta go buy Fortnite skins, so.
This nigga got slammed for ego peeking.
Hello? Is everyone ready or not? Just want verbal confirmations. No,
What was that, Papa?
I just want to know, is Desolate ready? Is Titans ready? What's going on?
Are we switching sides or no?
I
Blue
switched
team
it
is
from
ready.
I switched it from lobby, so that way Orange will
okay.
be starting as attack.
Alright, cutie.
Just wait for Titans to confirm they're ready then.
Once they say they're ready, you can start it.
I gotta eat these garden salsa chips.
You guys fucking blow. You guys give him a flawless
these
round and let me
nuts.
alone.
Shut up,
You're-
dork.
Shut up, bitch. Fucking talking right now. If I'm toxic to my
Eat
own
these
teammates, does
nuts,
that count as
Kiki.
being toxic to
Alright.
to other people?
Eat these
Well,
Well, I
nuts,
want it to
Kiki.
be known
That you want to eat these nuts?
that fucking one shot ran up those stairs and gave me a fucking
Yeah.
heart attack.
One shot. Do you want us to switch sides or does the caster have it? Like,
He
switch?
changed
He
it
has a
already.
set
I
up
already
He has a
changed
set
it.
up
Okay,
Don't
okay,
worry.
Okay, thank you. Alright. Cool.
We're ready.
We're ready? Yep.
Kiki,
One.
can you
We are
suck
ready.
these nuts, bitch? Got him!
No, I'm actually
Okay,
eating
we're
garden
starting
salsa chips.
I see.
Well,
Wait, I want to make cup of noodles.
Shut up, dumbass.
Okay, at last. Okay. 5-minute break, as I said. I said it back in 9:03, and then 9:08. We're back, folks. We have technically the third map, technically the second map here, between Desolate and Calibrate Titans. It is now Villa and Desolate going to be defending first here, and Desolate, since they are coming from the winners bracket here in this Junior Varsity Grand Final. Since they are coming from the winners bracket, they do have a map advantage. So if this does go to the fifth and final map, which is an interesting thought, to say the least, it would actually go the way of Desolate simply due to that one map advantage. But Desolate at the moment up 2-0 map-wise, including the one map advantage. They won last map, which was actually... trying to just remember to the best of my ability, that was Theme Park. They won that 7-4 after a 3-3 split per se at half. So that's going to be sort of the story going into this. And now okay, I'm trying to multitask a bit here, and then alright, but now going to be going on to Villa, and as I mentioned, this is a map where it's a bit bipolar, I'd say, in that it's either going to be very attacker-sided, you know, I've seen 5-1 splits in favor of the attackers, or it can be very defender-sided. It's not often one of those maps where it's really even between the two teams, and so it's not like you're very likely to see a 3-3 split, especially when the two teams are just about evenly matched. You're a lot more likely to see, that 4-2, maybe even a 5-1 split in favor of one team or the other. But on the flip side of that, really, is that as a result of that, it means that whichever side ends up coming out strongest. So, if we see a 5-1 split in favor of Desolate on the defense, that means that this is going to be a defender-sided game, and that means that since the defending team after that will be Titans, it means that they're going to have a bit of an advantage in that they'll be on the defense for that side. And admittedly, they'd have a job to do, but they'd be at least knowledgeable, really. So, gonna try and now get a sort of early advantage here, get in the open round, will be Titans. And last game they were on a 4v5, so you can't exactly say that they did not win the opening round, but they did not win the opening round. Mainly due to the situation that they were in, but the best way to put it is that they will now be attempting to get that in sort of an even situation for them. But now going actually to Aviator and Games here will be interestingly enough, Desolate and Mind as the Goyo, while he still has those Vulcan shields and not just the Vulcan cans, cherry cans, gasoline cans, whatever you want to call them. Going to be using that TCSG. Used to be a lot stronger than it is right now. Used to deal more damage and have less recoil, but now is essentially a defender's DMR. But if you can control it, it is a deadly weapon. And the other option being the Vector. So it's opting for the bit more damaging weapon. Might be confident in his recoil controlling skills on the weapon, as well as the fact that he can do some admittedly weaker remodeling. But even then, they do have the Legion of JR to get those impacts out, to get that down. Now, some roaming here coming out here from that trophy entrance. Just Darker just going to be sitting in that spot, being droned out now. But nobody really playing, actually, on that Master or Astro side. Actually just going to be opting to hold down sort of the areas closer to side, really a lot stronger at the core, and then leaving a lot to be desired in terms of roam. And all 5 of the members, almost all 5, 4 now, as Complexity taken down there by Daredab. Complexity playing below is the Jaeger. Interesting choice. Obviously, you need that roamer below. Complexity filling that spot, but interestingly enough, was not any sort of pulse or anybody with a nitro, so you couldn't exactly do a plant denial. There we go, or even push denial really from below using a nitro. So, and now pushing forward will actually be with the help of some drones. Daredab looking to get some vertical play down using that Ash charge. Now going to be shooting through the floor. Unfortunately, the yellow ping that he's receiving is a bit off, so unable to finish off Darker, who's been lowered here. No, not just yet, as JR, actually that would be Azrael taking him down, finally. And for a second I thought the Mind there, as the Goyo would be looking to trade his teammate. Now he's just holding a very, very small angle there between the Goyo shield and where it is now trying to take out. That would actually be over on the side of main. 2v5 though, Lucius does finally finish off Mind. That would most likely have been Daredab getting a double now. 1v5, it's up to just Kiki here. And he's facing the entirety of Titans. Flawless round. Azrael gets the double and closes it out for Titans. Will now be up here 1-0, and this is what they needed to really start off this new map. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, to quote a Michael Bublé song. I know it's cliched, but I still have to do it, folks. So I'm going to be getting a very good start to this next map here with a very strong attack there. And since they didn't have to deal with 2 roamers, they only had to deal with Complexity. And since he was so close really to a entryway to the building, really, since he was playing an art workshop, I think is the correct word for it. Since he was that close, it allowed Dare to get a very easy kill with the intel that he needed. And so from there, they could just play the 5v4 and just clamp down on site, really, which is what they did. Mind playing as that guy who didn't really seem to help them out. Didn't really waste any utility, didn't really waste any time with the shield, nor did it with the jerry can itself, the explosion, and then the flames, the fire, whichever one you want to call it. But a bit reminiscent of one of his one of the fellow Calibrate players, Mishka's, if I remember correctly, as the Goyo, often plays Goyo actually on this map, on this site. Will play that sort of extension over there, which is, I would say extension, sort of shield spot. Really, that was set up using a rotate, or was set up beginning with a rotate by Darker, and now that shield will be set up at the top of main by Darker. Not a Goyo shield, just a normal shield. So if he does end up eating an Ash charge, it will not blow up in his face, at least. But speaking of eating an Ash charge, there is actually to cover that in ADS, so we'll have to deal with. We'll have to burn that if Titans wants to deal with those shields, and they're bringing 3, so certainly going to be a bit testing, I think is the better way to put it, exactly how well Titans can actually open up these, open up those sites, deal with the ADSs, really, since those do come on after, I've heard 10 seconds, I've heard 15 seconds, one or the other, but it does now work on a cooldown, but with unlimited charge, which, at least in my opinion, is a bit excessive. So, gonna have to deal with sort of do some coordination, some strong coordination if they want to deal with all those on the utility that's now being brought out by Desolate. And interestingly enough, leaving that other wall soft there, putting in just a small hole. I don't know what that's about. It's sort of a faux foothold my best guess is that it's sort of trying to stop any
Attackers have located a bomb.
projectiles from hitting a shield or a rotate there in 90, and would be actually be a shield just right in front of it. I don't know if Titan's realizing that. That's going to make getting the shield itself a bit harder for Titans. Interesting sight to see, at least for me, to say the least. And now, actually, Mine once again holding an angle here with that TCSG, bringing it out for the second time now. As I said, reminiscent of, if remembering correctly, once they're using both his stims, the current Nitro being baited out there by actually Kiki as the bandit, but unfortunately to no avail. He's not going to push up 90. Both of them finding each other, but one shot finds the headshot for the kill, and now Smoke Whip goes out there from Darker as the Smoke now going to be trying to play from top main there. But on to what I was going to say, reminiscent of Mishkas, if I remember correctly, from Calibrate Predators, who would often play that Goyo with the TCSG with around the same spot that he's in on this map, on this site. But currently Mine holding an angle there with a sight line really similar to what we would see with a Mira setup on this objective. From Study, sort of inverting that sight line, realizing that this is a master push coming out here from Titans. One shot approaching site here, 40 seconds left. Leaves spotting actually Mine, but because lower does take one shot, and he's now close to one shot. He does actually, Mine finishes off one shot as Darker removes from the equation Daredap. 30 seconds left here. It's a 3v4 man advantage actually in favor of Desolate. 3v3 Smoke Whip going out there from Darker as Lucius takes on Complexity. Now it's actually evened up here, but only 20 seconds left here. Titans needs to make a move soon. General trying to push into Aviator, has to deal with the Goyo shields, as well as Mine holding the angle here as JR removes Azrael from this round. Looking for a second onto General, runs out of ammo, so has to pull out of the shotgun, and unfortunately he will fall. Fuser is down though. 5 seconds. Lucius getting the double kill. JR getting a double as well. 1v1 and no time. Round will go to Desolate, who will now be tied 1-1. Pardon me, I'm starting to feel the burn, feel the fatigue, in other words, and now, as you can tell, these two teams have actually tied it up here, and but reminiscent of that first match that we saw, that first map of Theme Park, where it went actually in a 4v5. First round went to Desolate, and then actually went to Titans, which immediately after Titans, due to the Rios that they got, and actually got a round after that, but no Rios here from Desolate. Nope, bringing in a 5th player. They already have 5, and it's kind of impossible for them to bring in 6. So just going to be trying to now sort of keep their momentum moving here as they sort of stopped and reversed the momentum that was favoring Titans. Now going to be going to Trophy and Statue for the second site. Interestingly enough, sort of a break from other Calibrate Gaming and they are now an ex-Calibrate Gaming team, but comparing them to their former peers team-wise, many teams would go actually to Dining as their secondary or even primary site. Going there, it's a difficult site to hold, but many teams like to go there over this objective, but deciding instead to go to this objective first, get this over with, potentially. They might think that they're stronger on this objective, which is why they're going there. And as you can tell, there's no denial on it, there's no mute jammers, there's no Kaid Electroclaws, there's nothing on it. So they're going to be really reliant on, that would be exclusively JR as the Legion to impact trick that successfully. He only has 2 shots. And considering that Azrael is playing Hibana and has 18 pellets, that's going to mean that he has not a whole lot of opportunities. So going to try and push forward here onto Master will be the Zofia there of 1 shot. And now he's going to just try and clear out. Master getting some assistance there, spotting the Goom Mine set up by JR. He's still trying to slow down that Master push. Might be slowly realizing that they're pushing that side, and below the objective actually is that Jackal there of Lucius. I don't know what exactly he's doing, looking to run out of Astro, is the answer to my question. Answered it myself. Some sightlines there being set onto that sort of back hallway, that back red hallway. He might be looking to play from below, actually, since he does have a shotgun, the 8-12S, presumably the general also has the RED to play from below. As Daredab lowered from above, presumably actually by mind lowering, being lower there as he's trying to roam, but gets caught there. Not out just yet, though, as the Jackal of Lucius. Daredab getting a kill on Complexity. Kiki removed from the equation by Azrael. Lucius getting a kill on Mine. Darker actually trades for Daredab. One shot, however, trading his teammate for Darker. One underestimated JR. Last one standing, taken down there by Lucius as the Jackal. And that would actually be the robot skin of Jackal as well. Wow. For the round. And now a lead being developed here by Titans. They will be up 2-1 here. Hi, Jacko. Hi, Mark. Thank you both for showing up. Even if it's only for just a moment, I still appreciate you both dropping by, saying hi, showing your support and all that. But as you can tell, up 2-1 here, so it could very well become tied in this next round. But based off how that went, really, for Desolate, that does not seem to be likely, especially after what happened, and IQ being brought in place of Gridlock by General. Presumably they already have, it would be my estimated guess, my hypothesis, my estimated guess, educated guess. It's not an estimated guess. I'm not estimating the amount of smokes. I'm estimating that they do have smokes, and they do. Lucius as the Jackal going to be bringing those. Initially enough, Mind from below with the mute, taking out that sort of record player there to try and provide a bit more sound horn for him, but bringing the jammers below might be trying to deny, almost certainly trying to deny vertical control from Titans. I don't think he realized it, but being spotted there by one shot as the Zofia, and as his drone is stuck, it's not necessarily stuck, but more so placed in kitchen there underneath what appears to be a cabinet. But meat jammers being placed there to sort of slow down the roll, really, of Titans as they're going to try and push through Sided. Nitro going out there very early on from the Mozzie, actually, of Kiki to no avail, though. Wasted a C4 on one. Now unable to really stop a plant from afar, nor from below, even though they don't have any sort of cameras for that. Don't have any default cams either that would be able to help them, really, unless it's that Astro camera, which seems very unlikely to stay online, stay untouched by Titans for the entirety of the round. And now roaming all the way on the other side of the map, on the opposite floor, is Complexity as that Jaeger, as he's going to try and once again be a thorn in the thigh. What am I saying? I'm not talking about goo mines here, of Calibrate Titans, as they're going to try and push through Pantry now onto below the objective to get some vertical setup to help them in getting that wall open, which has now been actually bandited as well. They don't have any impacts to help impact trick it, but they do have those bandits, and JR has one bandit battery left, so might actually try and bandit trick that. It seems unlikely, but it's always a possibility, so gonna have to put down an Ash Charge or something below. And Darren now going to be looking to clear out the rest of below. Sightline being set up there, presumably in conjunction, actually, with the sightline sort of between the two sites, as you see. And now about half of the round is elapsed. One shot trying to push into Astro, lowering Darker, who's already used one of his smoke babes, holding the angle here, just watching, really, for somebody to appear on his sightline, and now going to switch over to stuns, seeing if there's anybody there. Has to burn an ADS, but fortunately the other stun missing does not help him at all. His final impact goes out. He doesn't have any sort of ability left. 4v5 though, it doesn't even need an ability. Just needs the gun to remove Darker from the round. Takes him out. Two smoke games as well. Underestimated, however, removing Azrael. Getting the double will be one shot. Looking to swing with the pistol. The RG-15 has to deal with, however, with the shotgun of mine. Doesn't even matter. One shot getting a 3K. It's now a 1v4. Complexity, the last one standing for his team. Spotting one there. And that would be Daredab, but unfortunately Daredab manages to make Complexity fall. And the round will go to Calibrate Titans, who will now be up 3-1. Escargot the Go-Caster, I hope you go far with that. Thanks, VZ. Thank you. Or should I say Laura Philippe Cantine Petit Claire? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I'm sorry, Peasy. It's my best attempt, but French was never my strong suit. Complexity. Oh, that's a good way to put it. Complexity. We saw in the first map Complexity getting a 4K onto Titans, and just by him sort of playing it safe, but also being in the right spot at the right time. He was in the way of them, but also not too aggressive that they would be able to very easily pick him off. And another thing that combined to really hurt them on that side was that Titans didn't, or to really help him on the side, was that Titans didn't really have any intel on him. They were just sort of throwing bodies at that point. And that was what really led to him getting the 4K, but ever since he's been sort of settling into the back now, and as you saw in that last round, 1v4 didn't even win a single gunfight, didn't get a single kill. Hey man, we all have our strength. That's true. Everybody has their own skill set. Everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. And Titan seems to be very well balanced. Each of them sort of balancing each other out, being their yins to each other's yangs, if you wanted to put it that way. Use that sort of symbolism, and now Titan's going to be trying to push from the other side of the top floor, from actually the master side, which has been, for the most part, untouched, actually, by Desolate, and now Complexity going to try and set up a melee hole, and this is quite similar to, or somewhat similar to what we saw in the last map, where he set up a melee hole and got, I think, 2 kills from it, at least 1, now being droned out, so going to be a change, and he has to fall back to now actually 90 long there, over by the top of main, no, pardon me, the top of red, actually. So now One Shot going to push forward here, and 45 seconds has elapsed, but they are making good progress as they're going to try and push forward into, actually that would be trophy and statue area as well, namely statue areas. One Shot takes all that without having to worry about anything really. Now going to be droning, actually, finding his way around the objective, spotting that Valkyrie camera which has been set there. It's a very common Valkyrie spot, so I'm not sure JR was really hoping that it would be spotted that quickly. I don't know if he even is aware that it's been spotted, but Complexity now holding down 90 there. Going to be playing behind that Goyo shield, which once again has been covered by an ADS, and once again, actually, Mine bringing the Goyo with the TCSG on a side note, and Dark also once again going to be bringing the smoke with the same shield, same spot, so very similar strategy to what we saw in that round that they actually won on this objective. They're going to be looking to actually go to 2 and 3 as Darker removes Lucius from the equation to finally start the wheels turning. Kiki nitroing away Azrael for a 5v3 actually. Now the IQ there of General trying to push forward has that 5.52 commando trained on red stairs now, as Impact's appearing to go out there from One Shot. Now taking the diffuser, has to deal with that Goyo shield. Did also have to presumably burn the ADS, he did. And now holding the angle there, actually onto nothingness unfortunately for Kiki. Has the M870, wow, I didn't realize. Has to play very close up, but got a nitro kill, now trying to get a shotgun kill. That would be embarrassing for Titans if one of them ended up dying due to the M870 on Bandit, of all things. Obviously the weaker of the 2 weapons, considering that his other option is the ever popular and rather strong MP7. I almost said M7, but that's not even the correct name. But now about 30 seconds left, less than, spotting a bit. Does actually spot the head, though, of Complexity. They both saw each other, but unfortunately, in the one-shot headshot game of Siege, all that matters is that General managing to sort of commandeer the forces and get the kill. Mine, however, getting a headshot of his own onto General, creating his teammate. 4v1, Mine getting the double onto Daredabs with just 1 shot here. They'll almost have to deal with the entirety. 2v1 One Shot gets the double onto Mine and Kiki, but unfortunately, not enough time, and neither of the Desolate players were looking to just throw themselves at that window. But trades coming out there, Daredab getting the double, but unfortunately was removed, and One Shot facing almost the entirety of Desolate managed to remove 2 of them simply because they pushed him very aggressively, looking for that kill instead of looking for the time. But it didn't matter. The 2 other remaining members of Desolate had some sense and were able to actually keep the round in their favor just by waiting it out, really. But going to be trying now to win Dining and Kitchen as they realize that they are very, very weak on pardon me, on Trophy and Statuary. They're 0 for 2 on that objective. And so they'll be trying now to hopefully stand a chance here against Calibrate Titans, who are up 3 to 2. So this could be either a tied half and be 3 to 3 if they win this next round, or it could be a 4 to 2 split and actually in favor of Daredap and the rest of Calibrate Titans. It's going to be up to just how well this site manages to is held, better yet, by Excalibur team Desolate. Pardon me, still trying to get that out of my system, really. Sorry to Ruby if she ends up watching this over, but Dark, you're going to be in charge of using that calculator to help with the extension, which is one half of the equation, I'd say, to holding the site successfully, is that you extend yourself into a memorial there using the castle, and oftentimes a mute as well. But realizing that now actually would be that... No, not realizing that with this... I'm not even sure where that drone is. And there it is. There we are. It was up in the rooftops or something. But realizing that he's there, and now spotting the castle, realizing the site. And then the other half of the equation here, which is being managed, it seems, by Mind as the Pulse, is dealing with above, because you need to hold above for as long as you can to deny that vertical, or at the very least make it very difficult and slow and dangerous for the attacking team to play. And it seems that Mind as the Pulse is really going to be the one taking on that objective, that job, as the Pulse with the Nitro, so they'll be able to spot where they are above and use, namely JR and Kiki, since they both have Nitros, to hopefully Nitro them away. Since his own Nitro is a delayed Nitro, Nitro goes out, speaking of which, from Kiki actually, but to no avail. Don't know what he was trying to do. I think trying to shoot that through the holes that have been set up in the ceiling, but it doesn't even matter. Just needs to throw some bullets through there. Takes down one shot with a headshot. And as I sort of made the joke before, put him down with just one shot. And so, back to the other part of that is that I've even seen teams do sort of a full setup, actually, of statuary, 3 reinforcements, a mute jammer or 2, put some 2 players up there, and really try and hold down the upper part of the objective, the vertical half. And it's been successful when it's done correctly, but it's difficult. 4v4, they're actually removing complexity from the equation, and I'm going to need to focus on his name, because that's going to be tripping over me. I'm going to be tripping over that. The other way to put it, I'm not going to be trying to speak in the passive voice for any of this. Really, and now actually going to be focusing on vertical here. About a minute left as Lucius, as the Jackal, does have 1 scan left, so could certainly try and find somebody, but I don't think he's going to be looking to 4v4 here. Daredap using his final ash charge on something. I'm not sure what. Now going to try and use a breaching charge. Actually lowers Darker there, who wasn't expecting the aggro push. Doesn't even matter. Even though he's surprised by it, he manages to win it out. 3v3 though, as he gets traded, surprisingly enough, by Azrael, as the Hibana using this Hibana pellet hole that he had set up. Singular hole, plural pellets. Kiki getting a double kill, however, onto Azrael. Lucius trading him for, getting rid of Mind to even it up once again. It's a 2v2 here. About 30 seconds left. Diffuser is down. It's up to just Lucius and General Cub, with the half on the line, really. They want to put themselves up by 2 rounds at half. They need to win this next one. One of the angles here, spotted actually by the mute there. Surprising left of JR, and Kiki getting the 3K and the round. With that Mozzie Commando 9. Beats out the Commando 552, it appears. Gets the round for his team with the 3K, and it will go to a tied half. Now, I'm going to just look in the present and then look a bit into the past at those bans very quickly. Leading Desolate would actually be Kiki and Darker with 4 each, as well as JR. Both of them, all 3 of them actually have 4, so more than half of the team has a combined 12 kills. In comparison, One Shot leading his team with 7 kills, Daredap not far behind with 5. So between those two, a total of 12 kills as well, so a bit higher fragging, but less fraggers, really, from Titans, while less fragging, but more even, more fraggers, if you wanted to put it that way. But more, if you wanted to make some silly comparisons, a bit more communist. by actually Desolate, and now Desolate will be trying to attack here as a... I'm going to go into the band's next round. Wish I had the opportunity to, but I can't really since I can't see them now. And people are leaving. That's unfortunate for them because this is quite a bit of a barn burner. Even though it's 0-2 here for Titans, they're certainly putting up a fight here, and they're going to try and put up... Once again, they're going to try and put up a round here, try and get the opening round of the second half, actually, as they'll be bringing the Goyo once again. Quite similar, actually, to what we saw from Desolate, and might be looking to put down that other Goyo shield that we saw there in 90 long, facing just 90 itself, but not being instant, actually putting it over by 90 short. Does not, however, have an ADS to cover it, and does not have a soft wall to hide it behind with a TCSG shot or anything. Really, so fortunate for him. And now that shield is going to be manned there by Azrael, but he does not have the rotate. I don't know what was going on there in the mind of Lucius, but does reinforce that softball next to it. Instead of putting on a rotated, that's going to make Azrael's life quite a bit harder, since if he loses that shield, if he loses main, he will not really have a quick and safe place to retreat to. He will have to push down 90 long, right about to where that barbed wire is in order to reach this objective. But actually, one shot actually removing Darker from the equation. There goes the Nomad, and there goes quite a bit of flank denial. And that's going to allow the proliferation, really, of the roamers of one shot on the rest of Titans. But speaking of roamers, Daredap going to be the one that profits the most off of it. He is roaming below with that Jaeger. Does not have a Nitro to stop any sort of plant. And now he's being tracked by the Jackal as to deal with 4 pings. So gotta have grabbed some fairly recent footprints. And he's going to now return to back up the main side as Desolate. I almost said dexterity, but don't seem to be very dexterous, as Mind is removed from the equation by one shot for a 2 kill. Getting that 1-2 punch, in other words. And now Kiki's going to try and push forward here. He does have those Jackal things to help him out, but unfortunately they run out for him. And now about half of the round has elapsed here. It's a 3v5. This is not looking like the way that Desolate really wanted to open the half, but there goes something in their favor as Kiki removes Daredap. Actually, just hits him right on the head. And the one-shot headshot again. JR actually takes down one shot off of just some greedy plays from him. Looking for the third, gets shut off. And now there's the second kill here for Desolate, as they're going to try actually to even it up here. Nitro goes, not Nitro, stuns as well as an impact going out there on that vault wall, and now General has to fall back. He doesn't have impacts to trick it. He has the Nitro, which he's already used. Nobody else really had impacts outside of Lucius, but did not try to impact trick that. And now it's a 3v3 here. 40 seconds left. Hunting Vault has been compromised, but now going to be filled by Lucius with some goo mines, really. Going to try and slow down that push. 2v3 though. Azrael removes the complexity from the round. Kills him. Takes him out. JR going to now push forward into Aviator, trying to find somebody. 1v3 though. Azrael getting a double kill. Underestimated getting a double kill in exchange, trading his teammate. For a second on the round, looking to collect a third. He gets the 3K now. 1v1 against General, but he does have that goo mine in him. 2 now, actually. Soaked up a second one. Now going to try and push forward, but he's being lowered due to those goo mines. Does not know where he is. Now it's very low. Finding Lucius, but Lucius getting the kill and the round for Calibrate Titans, who will be up here 4-3. Alright, and now a round advantage for actually Calibrate Titans here, as they'll be up 4-3 after their first round of the second half of their defending half, as they're going to now actually go to Trophy and Statuary. And this was a mistake that was made quite a bit by Desolate. They went there twice and gave 2 seemingly effortless rounds, really, to Calibrate Titans, and we'll have to see if that seems to be a mistake that will also be made, really, by Calibrate Titans, as they're now going to try and win over this side here. Bringing the Castle as well as the Goyos, and might be looking for that sort of well-known extension, actually, into sort of this archway, this sort of, what's the word? alcove, cabinet, I'm not sure exactly how to describe it,
Located by attackers.
of Master. There's usually a castle barricade on this right window, a Goyo shield right next to it, another castle barricade, or maybe even a Goyo shield on this doorway into Master Bathroom to get rid of that window there. And then you just play that for as long as you can, but they won't be doing that actually. I don't know what they're going to be doing. Instead, going to put down 2 jammers on that trophy wall. Do not have any other denial, don't it? They do, however, have Lucius as the Legion to try and impact trick that. If only General still had impacts as the castle, as he could also impact trick that. But surprisingly enough, this has been a fairly even, admittedly, actually surprisingly even considering that it was a 3-3-1/2 map for both of these teams. Nobody really seeming to show that attack is favored on this map, nor is defense favored. But in general, showing that he is going to try and actually slow down the attack here with those castle barricades, one of which is being put over on the 90 side. I'm not sure where the other 2 is. And 2 reinforcements. I was confused for a second. I only saw 1 reinforcement, but I do now see 2, as they will actually be locking that side off, really. Just their ability. And there goes a Goyo shield exploded by presumably the Goyo himself, Azrael. He's playing the other Goyo shield there, right by Master, covered by all 3 ADSs. Wow. Now, Air Job's going down there trying to push Azrael away from the shield. Don't know if he realizes where exactly it is, and certainly his teammate does. That would be one shot saving his teammate from taking from being put in any real peril due to that air jab. Daredab gonna now eye the flank here as he's pushing up red, looking to remove some members of Desolate from the round. Does not, however, spot the Nomad on the stairs. He does get the headshot, though, and that's all that matters. Barely won that engagement, but he's very low now. And Desolate is now aware of where he is, including especially the Jackal of Kiki, who now manages to track him as very Fresh Prince. So knows exactly where he is for a good amount of time now. And he's certainly aware of that as he's rotated back to site, back to Astro. Gonna try and wait out those pings. And now Kiki also waiting, lying in wait. He's on the hunt for his prey of Daredab. 4v4 though, Complexity takes down Azrael to even it up. 4v3 though, 3v3 as both Kiki taking down Daredab and a one-shot, removing Complexity as a result. Not so much as a result, in exchange. It's the best way to put it. To bring it to that sort of end result. Through 2v3 though, barely spotting Lucius as Lucius hits him right on the head. Manages to dome him in that sense. And now it is 30 seconds left here. It's a 2v3. The diffuser is down. Kiki gonna now try and lay down, put down some smokes to cover his revive attempt on JR. He was down here. Impact goes out, unable to really do much to JR. Nor is it really able to do anything to Kiki. Does lower Kiki about a bar, but I don't think that's going to really help him. 1v3 though, General takes down one, and one shot gets the other. For double kills from at least a double kill from one shot, maybe even a double kill from General. And the round for Calibrate Titans, who will now be up actually by 2 rounds, 5-3. And this is not going to appear to be a repeat of the last map, as pardon me, they'll be up 5-3. In the last map, we saw a 4-3 lead. At the actually favoring, I'm trying to remember. Do you remember? Sorry, I had to just sing a quick song, and then that does remind me that it actually went from 4-3 Titans to very quickly 7-4 Desolate last game. So some similarities have really disappeared now, and as you can tell, going to be trying to sort of hold down the site, and then an Ace and a Thatcher band, so neither of them able to be brought, neither of them have been brought, but 2 Heartbreakers gone, especially considering that the then attacking team of actually Calibrate Titans they were the ones that banned Ace. It's very surprising. It shows that they are, and almost certainly are, confident in their ability to actually get those walls open, and for the most part they were able to do it successfully, since they still had Twitch, they still had vertical operators such as Daredap on the Ash, they still had Maverick, even though he's very rarely, if ever, played on this map, which is an interesting conversation in and of itself. And then the other part was Lucy ban and his That's fairly predictable. Always a pain for operators. She, pardon me, is gonna get a fairly large nerf next season, and that there will be a weak point added to the Banshee, which will essentially, at least in my view, make it a bit useless, considering that all you have to do is step within the rotation, the range is the best way to put it, of the Banshee, and then just shoot the weak spot, and it's gone like that. So really, not the best result for any Melusi mains, but for people who are not fans of Melusi, they have to be rejoicing at the news of that. However, the final ban was a Vigil ban, which is interesting to see from a team. You don't normally see that unless it's a target ban, because he's not an operator that's going to have a massive effect on the game unless it's targeted at one member of the opposite team, namely. So you'd see that often. In terms of another example of a target ban would be, many teams like to target ban Ella against Arson Militia if they're facing them. One Shot, however, facing Darker, does manage to target him and successfully hit his target of the head of Darker, removing him as the Nomad from this round. Frag Grenade goes out. 4v4, the Complexity actually trading his teammate there. Now looking for a 3v4. Going to be put into a bit of a crossfire. Daredab going to try and now hold down. Lucius actually helping out his teammate as he removes a Mind from the round with a Nitro. Blasts him away. Complexity, however, getting a double kill into Daredab for a 3v3 now. Now Kiki going to be watching here. Going to be trying to track somebody down. Going on the hunt. Running. He better start running, to reference one of his voice lines. Sorry for all these sort of cheesy, trite, cliched references, but I just gotta make them funny to me, funny to y'all. 2v3 though, as Azrael takes down Kiki, and it's now to just JR and Complexity. Man advantage has gone back into the favor of Calibrate Titans as they now look to complete a sweep of these sites. They're on their tertiary, which is actually dining and kitchen. And now JR holding down or trying to make an impact from above, using some bullets for that, and his Complexity going to use some breaching charges actually for that. Does not have any breaching rounds. Even then, would be a bit unwise to really use them on something as simple as opening up some floors, especially considering that Azrael and General are both on the board, as Goyo and Castle, their utility is still out there, as you saw, having used a breaching charge on that. Now Flashbang's going out there from underestimate, and is now going to look to push forward here. Low time though, going to have to swing the Goyo there. Azrael does take him down. Complexity going to get a triple kill. Lucius with a double to trade his teammate, and there goes General with the shorty, the super shorty, I think is the correct name for it. Getting the kill onto JR as the Thermite from the castle, making him kiss some lead and kissing the round goodbye. It's now match point here for Calibrate Titans, as they're going to look to now put up a map on the board in this series for them. And now, as you can tell, match point here seems to be a bit of a desperate times call for desperate measures from Desolate, and so they'll be trying to really pull it out here, try and focus up, and bring themselves to overtime, which seems unlikely though, as they have to win 3 rounds in a row against a very energized, actually, Calibrate Titans, who are now on a 3-round win streak. They swept all 3 of these sites. This is the first site that they ended up winning, and in surprisingly strong, dominant fashion, if you wanted to put it that way. But as you can tell, Nomad being brought once again by Darker. He got taken out early in the round, so maybe the presence of Darker as the Nomad will make it easier if he can stay alive long enough to get those air jabs down. Maybe his presence will make it easier, really, for them. They changed their name again. Desolate, formerly known as Calibrate Legion, Calibrate Gaming Legion, if you wanted to be a stickler about it. They left Calibrate a few days ago. I don't know the exact reason, so I'm not going to really go into it, but ended up leaving and sort of forming their own team. So they are formerly Calibrate Legion, they are now Desolate. Speaking of somebody starting with a D, Daradap, as that Jaeger trying to hold an angle here. I don't know if he notices, but there's somebody on the rappel there, spots him, and does lower him. Kiki, however, managed to find the head from a distance as well. The 2.0 helping him out, as Darker once again removed, but he did get some air jabs down, so he will be able to slow down any sort of flanks from Titans, but it doesn't appear that they're going to be looking for those. Going to just be looking to hold down sight. Azrael has to fall back from that shield that he had set up there, right at the corner, actually right at the top of main, as Kiki getting a double onto one shot. And now, exploiting that Goyo shield as JR looking to open up those walls there. However, they are muted, so he cannot open them up just yet. He would have to wait for his teammate to go below, which certainly does. That would be mine going from below as the Ash, putting down an Ash charge to open that up, and he now will look to open that up. Lucius in the last line of defense, but he will not try to impact trick it. We'll just let that open, now trying to get a kill, actually. ADS actually managing to burn a stun there from Kiki. He only has impacts left. Kiki with a 3k, though. Doesn't even need the stuns on Lucius to get the kill. 4k from Kiki onto General. It's up to just Azrael. 1v4. And now Kiki looking for the ace here. Nitro goes out from Azrael. Does lower complexity to 1. Now Kiki going to push forward here. Looking to swing that maybe. Flashbang's going out. Azrael blinded. Azrael in the middle of nowhere. Does down and out Kiki, so he will only get the squad wipe. Get the 4k. 3v1 now. And complexity is at 1L, so it could very quickly be a 2v1. But disregard all that. Throw that in the trash bin. Throw that round on the side of Desolate as they will win it. And put it now to 6-4. Still map point, match point, game point. Just going to refer to it as match point for Calibrate Titans.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And now, as you can tell, going to be trying to actually hold down Trophy and Statuary, which, if I remember correctly, ended up going, what, in a 3v1? 2v1 for them? It wasn't a blowout, but did not look very great for them. Them being Desolate when they went there. Ended up just being the result of too much pressure on them. Not enough pressure being put on the site, really, and then ran out of time. Some chaos in that round if you wanted to go back and look at that, really. But now going to actually be trying to hold on here to get this map and put it away. Take it and bring it to them to go up to, or still down, but quote-unquote up to 2-1. I don't know what One Shot's trying to do there. It looks like he's trying to get some sort of like vaults prompt onto that. Maybe put himself in an elevated spot to confuse and surprise Desolate, but unable to, so he's instead going to opt for the classic bathtub. Actually, in bathroom, he's not William Howard Taft, referencing U.S. history there. So, but he will be trying to surprise them. Will rip that nitro, so going to have that sort of pre-prepped for somebody to push in. And now going below will actually be mine, sending down 2 Ash charges there to remove the bandit batteries. There was there was just mute jammers, 2 mute jammers from One Shot actually on that. He decides to switch over to his primary weapon, the MP5K, gonna train his sights there on that window outside in Master, the sort of south side window, if you wanted to phrase it that way. And now there goes the Goyo shield taken out, and that's gonna split down any sort of chances at rushing that, but doesn't even appear that that's their real plan. Now Dark are gonna try and push forward here. I think they got a hard ping actually on One Shot. in the bathtub as he has to fall back, and now preventing him from really pushing forward, swinging, getting anything done would be that air jab set up by Darker. He's still going to be a major factor since he's still alive and he's putting down most of his utility. However, Mind is down. I don't know exactly how. Not out just yet. It looks like he fell. So going to try and res him now. Quickly will be JR after he got both of his thermite charges down there. Nothing to keep the close. No impact tricks. No bamboozling. No sort of gimmicks there from Lucius, since they have been unable to or unwilling to impact trick any of these walls. One shot getting a double onto complexity as well. As Mind is gone, Daradap being the one behind that part. Nitro goes out but does not actually get Darker there, who's now going to move back into Master. Spots him, gets the one tap. Well, not the one tap, the one headshot that he needed to put him away. And it will now be a 3v4. JR looking for the plan here. Unfortunately, they're down a man. 2v4 now, down 2, outnumbered 2-1. Darker is the last one, and there goes Azrael, General, all the members really of Titans taken out. Desolate to put this map away. It will be 7-4 actually. As Titans wins this map, they are still down in the series 2-1, but they are now closer to winning it. Now we're gonna have a couple minutes break, and then we'll be back. So thank you all for sticking around. And next map, I think, is Cafe.
Let it out. I'll let it out. I'll let
Good
it
game.
out. I'll let it out. I'll let it out. I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Good game.
Good match.
Good game.
I never want to play against that one shot ever again. I'm gonna kill myself. Literally died to him every single round except the last one, dude. Literally, every time I died, it just said one shot CG, one shot CG. Like, dude, I'm clipping that and I'm just putting all the.
Oh my god.
Dude,
You're gonna have a fucking death montage.
Yeah, so me just dying to him and me yelling in the mic. I'm gonna fucking
Oh,
cut my
fuck.
balls off.
Bro, if there were, imagine fucking
I don't wanna hear
death
it.
comms in Siege, all one shot would hear is, oh my fucking god, dude! It'd just be you.
Just let me know when both teams are ready to start it back up, and then we'll go to next map. Are both teams ready?
What's up?
I'm wondering if both teams are ready.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready to tickle some buttholes. I'm ready. One shot's not gonna kill me this game. I guarantee it. I'm gonna stop talking.
Is Titans ready?
Dude, mind. I wanna kill myself.
Alright, and now we are here with the third map in this best of 5 series. We have Cafe Dostoyevsky, Desolate versus Calibrate Titans. These two teams are tied map-wise at 1-1. 7-4 Theme Park went in favor of Desolate. 7-4 Villa went in the favor of Calibrate Titans. Now we're on to the third map of Cafe Dostoyevsky. However, due to the fact that Desolate most likely came from the winner's bracket of this Blizzard Junior Varsity Finals playoffs, to be, if you wanted to be a bit of a stickler for how to phrase it, really, but since they came from the upper bracket, presumably they will actually have a map advantage. So technically, they are up here 2-1. Which means that, really, these next two maps, the third and fourth map, if I'm remembering correctly, yes? Essentially, next two maps need to be won by Titans if they want to win it and bring it home, and only one map needs to be won by Desolate if they want to win it. So, actually, pros hype up the boys, we need prod. Pros. Alright, and so, gonna look at the bans. I sort of addressed them later on in the match. Of that last one, I saw a sledge as well as a Goyo coming out. We saw a lot of sledge plays in the past map. It was a fairly popular selection, I'd say, that had the frag grenades as well as the hammer time ability with the, I believe it's called the Caber is the official name for it. Has the breaching hammer, so he can open up a lot of floors, and that's gonna be very influential, especially on objectives such as second floor, which would be reading and fireplace, and first floor, which is the site Desolate has gone to, kitchens, cooking, and kitchen service, or the opposite way around. So it doesn't matter, it's the kitchen site. It is the two kitchens that take up the majority of actually the ground floor. So the other ban being Goyo. We saw that from both teams, but especially from Mind as the TCSG Goyo, harkening us all back to earlier times with other teams, namely Michigas from Calibrate Predators. TCSG in that situation is well and doing surprisingly well with it, as he did okay. He did not do as great, but he certainly did stuff. Now, interestingly enough, a castle being brought to cover that reinforcement, that semi-extension, sort of pseudo-extension, by one shot actually into that red hallway. It has a shield to cover it once that does eventually get opened up. And now trying to peek through that will actually be Kiki. Trying to actually does manage to scan the feet there of castle, but does not have anybody really yet to open up those castle barricades, both on that hallway as well as code check. Over one shot going to be covering that, and Nitro going out there and hitting Darker. Came out from Lucius, and they have no more Nitros left to the Naya plant. They'll have to rely on Azrael if they want to get those down. Now, Darker going to throw a drone into the objective, does spot those castle barricades, spotting all this utility really that Mind and Complexity as the classics really of soft reaching Ash and Zofia. Spot those Ash charges going out, two to be exact. Not sure where the second one went out, but one opening up that castle barricade, and the other going on the shield. Mind, however, taking out Dared after the first kill of this map. And now, just one shot managing to just sort of sneak past the crosshairs there of Desolate, as they are going to now try and pressure what was formerly the sort of extension that was formed there by Calibrate Titans. And interestingly enough, there's the reinforcement, the line of sight, as well as the council barricade there that had been set up there by General. Like, they were going to extend it into Bakery, but there was no shield, nobody really playing there. Interesting choices from him, and it doesn't seem to really hurt nor help them exactly. As now Dark are going to try and push through. Red Hallway going to be stunned, however, by one-shots. Ella Mine, the Grismon. Lucius takes down Mine to even it up. 3v4, Lucius getting a double on a Kiki. 2v4, 3k from Lucius. Wiping out more than half of the team of Desolate. But Azrael in one shot closing out the round for his teammate. Taking down Complexity and Darker. For now, 1-0. And Titans seems to have reached their groove, found their mojo, have entered the sort of flow state that they need if they want to bring this back, if they want this championship so badly. They need to fight for it, and they're fighting for it right now. And that last round was a great example of it. A strong opening there. Lucius sort of showing up, showing off as the mute, getting the 3k, and he's been doing consistent work for his team, getting the 3 kills, the 4 kills for his team, and has been making their jobs a lot easier. Sort of been a very person, a spot, a place, a thing to rally around, to boost their morale, to keep them in high spirits. And I'm sure the Titans has to be centering around that, really, anchoring in that spirit and that morale boosting play, in those morale boosting plays, plural, from Lucius, even on those support area ops such as Mute and Smoke. And now the Desolate fans have rolled into town, as I can tell from the chat. Nathan Waller, Ruby, and Sleazy. Hi, Ruby and Sleazy. I have no idea who Nathan is, but hi to all three of you, namely Ruby and Sleazy, since I know all three of you. But actually, as you can tell, going to be trying to hold down top floor here as their second site, not their primary, their secondary objective. And I was wrong. They're actually going to the second floor, going to be going from the bottom up. For some reason, finding themselves to be not too strong, actually, on their top floor. But they will be holding parts of the top floor, doing that sort of classic hold there. Do not have a castle barricade on it. Usually there's a castle barricade on that doorway between bar and cocktail. If one is trying to hold down the upper area, namely cocktail is the key. But usually how it works is that you have Pulse and somebody else with a Nitro below, and then a Smoke, a Castle, and a Jaeger above, using a Castle Barricade on this doorway, and then also on the Cigar doorway over there, as well as some ADSs and Smoke's Shield, to essentially just waste as much utility and as much time as possible, actually, from the attack in taking that. And then, obviously, the Mute Jammers and all that sort of stuff, because the Mute is one of the other operators you'd bring as the Nitro holder, would prevent them really from getting that vault open, as well as the fact that it would have, most likely, it would be dangerous for somebody to really put a thermite charge on it. Speaking of thermite, JR has been a fairly consistent support for his team, managing to get those walls open when they need them, pushing in for the kills when they also need those, but not as much on the latter as he is on the former. And now about a minute 15 left here, and interestingly enough, going to be actually opting out of pushing vertical here. Desolate just going to try and push straight out from pillar, and that seems to be not great, but not horrible for them. Now Mine pushing forward here as Kiki is lower there by that looks to be Lucius, but he gets taken out quickly, just gets wiped off by Kiki, almost like he had hit one of the sort of I don't even remember what they're called, from Wipeout. I suppose that's the best way to put it. 4v4 though, evening up will be Daredap, but JR sticks the plan as Mine gets a headshot on Azrael. Daredap getting the 3k, wow, first on the Darker, then on the Mine as well. General also training his teammate from a while back as he kills Kiki. It's up to just JR here on a 1v3. Luckily he's in the post plan, he just needs to waste about, and it doesn't even matter. Daredap getting the 4k, squad wipes. Will get the round for Titans, so will now be up 2-0 here.
Defenders disable the diffuser. Defender mission success.
Woo! Pardon me, but it is now a 2-0 lead here for Titans as they look to actually capitalize on the momentum that they've gained over these past 2 rounds and look to get a 3rd round, actually, on Bar and Cocktail. Their tertiary site, interestingly enough, which is for others,
Attackers
for
need to
many
locate
others
and
actually,
defuse
their
as many
primary
bombs
site.
as they can.
Interestingly enough, so they'll be trying to hold this down, and sleazy, funny. Interestingly enough, Azrael, just to point out one player, I'm gonna look at some others though in just a moment. Azrael bringing out that Oryx, and he's become a bit more of a viable roamer now. He has that Rima dash, which when he uses it, he becomes the fastest operator in the game. He can knock down players, assuming that they don't shoot him first, which means that he fairly hard counters Monty and, to an extent, Blitz. He can make his own rotates. He has a pocket shotgun in the Bailiff. He can go up and down hatches. Well, everybody can go down hatches, but he can go up hatches. He's one of 2 operators that can do that. Him and Amaru with the Gara, the grappling hook, basically. And he has the T5 SMG, Legion's weapon, formerly Malusi's weapon when she first released, with the 1.5 scope. So overall, a strong and actually viable roamer if you don't have Vigil or don't want to run Vigil. But other highlights is that One Shot is now bringing the Ella once again. We saw that the first round, bringing her seemingly for the shield, not so much for the weapon or the ability, really. I don't know if that's still true or not, because I don't know exactly where the shield is. It's just right on the door between the 2 sides. So I don't know what that's going to be exactly accomplishing for Titans. We'll have to wait and see. And the third I want to point out here is General as the Frost. You don't normally see Frost in competitive play. Not a very strong operator. Many people refer to her as sort of like the Trap Queen or whatever. But she has those welcome mats, basically bear traps. They're guaranteed down if somebody hits them, but they're large. They're obvious. The one thing that they are strong at, however, is windows. Especially windows where you can't deal with the mat. You can't repel, you can't really go from below or anything. And so what you have to do essentially is it creates a crossfire. If you place it in the right spots, if you place the frost mat in the right areas, as I'm now going to focus on JR opening up that cigar wall here, but more than half of the round is elapsed from that. Bit wasteful, I'd say, considering that they had cigar control thanks to that Zofia of Mind. But if you place the frost mats in the right spots, it will be able to create a sort of crossfire on the attacker where they either go for you as the one holding the angle and essentially have no way of dealing with the frost mat, or they deal with the frost mat and take their chances with you popping their head, or at the very least putting them in major pain. And there goes Mind for a 5v4 now, and only 45 seconds left, but JR has done his job. Now I'm going to switch back to Bad Might. Actually, Blank Might is flanking angles there. Now he looks to pop out and actually become the frag Might. 3v5, 2v5, Lucius getting the double kill. Azrael, however, is down, not out just yet, though. Fortunately for him, he got caught out on the run out, and he is down, so unlikely that he'll ever get revived. 2v4, the complexity takes down Daredap. Technically 2v3, but still not so great here for Kiki and Complexity. 15 seconds left. They don't have the diffuser. It's in the middle of backstore being watched right now by Lucius. He's holding the angle there. Hit the Nitro for the 3k, lowers himself. It doesn't even matter. He gets the fancy kill on the Complexity. Kiki gets the trade, though. 1v2. Doesn't have the diffuser. Has to grab it. It's not enough time to plant it. The round will go to Calibrate Titans. It is now 3-0 here. Titans with a strong lead and have swept the 3 sites. Gonna go down now to kitchen and service and cooking. So very good position for them to be in here. Big morale boost, big energizer in having swept all 3 of the sites, including what they viewed as their weak site in Bar and Cocktail. But now we'll have to see how they do. They're bringing the Maestro once again, bringing what appears to be the same lineup, actually. The Mute, the Maestro, the Ella, the Castle, and then the Jaeger. I think this is what we saw actually earlier in the map, really, from them. And now, as you can tell, just going to be trying to set up the same way here. Same sightline, same all that, and Darker leaves. I don't know what's up with him, but I don't think that there's time to call for a rehost. I might be wrong on that, but that's going to make it very unfortunate for Desolate. They're going to be in a 4v5 here, harkening back echoes of, actually, what we saw at the beginning of the series, where Titans had actually the 4v5 without Daradab, and now Mind and the rest of Desolate are going to have to 4v5 without Darker. Obviously not the same roles played between those two players, but still similar situations for both of them, being down a man. And even though the top of the scoreboard says 5v5, that's not exactly true. It's actually a 4v5 here. I don't know what's going on with Darker. He might have game chat, he might have rage quit, which seems very unlikely considering the circumstances, but it's always good to just sort of consider that, think about it, ponder it, really. And now Kiki going to be looking around there with that, actually that Gemini replicator. Might have caught the attention all the way on the top floors of Daradab, playing right by New Hatch Drop, has that pillar door open, looking to get a kill off of that. As now going to go just start gunning straight towards site will be 3 members, actually, of Desolate. The 4th being, that would be what appears to be... No, it's not JR, it's Mind, actually, on the rappel here. Kiki and Complexity being the other 2 down by VIP section, by Restaurant. Nice Arts is going down, removing those castle barricades as well as the shield, but that is all of Complexity's utility. Kiki obviously still has those 2 frag grenades and unlimited utility in the Gemini replicator being sort of an active ability, I think is the correct term for it. Mind, however, takes down Daredevil for a 4v4 now. These 2 teams have actually evened up. However, time has been wasted quite a bit by Daradam. He's wasted more than half of the round from Mind, and he will have to sort of hurry up here. So will JR, as he's going to now look for those walls now. Does get the freezer wall. Unable to be really tricked at all. No bandits, no Kaids, no impacts. So we'll be open there with just under a minute left here for Desolate to make a move. They have managed to neutralize that 5v4 situation, but they are not in the best position. One shot holding right under that coach check window. I think realizing that is Kiki there. Has to fall back, and now 45 seconds left. One shot again, going to be draining the time here of Desolate. And then Complexity has the Ash spotting him. The 2 of them trading shots here lowers Complexity, but One Shot himself lowered as he falls back now through that rotate they had set. Almost sort of flubbed on it, fumbled.
Attackers have located a bomb.
But does not, ultimately. Complexity, no, that would be Mind, lowered there. Not sure exactly how, but JR gonna push in here, getting a bit of aggro. Has to pay the price for it. 3v3 though, Mind getting the double kill to take down General as Lucius took him out, took JR out. And now Kiki trading him for Lucius. Trading his teammate 2v1, Kiki getting a double on Azrael. Gets the 3k onto One Shot and the round for Desolate. And I have no idea what's going on. Where is Darker left? Pop got tilted. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's a rehost. Are we all ready?
All right, we're
Please
ready.
tell me we're ready.
Ready?
Ready.
We're ready. Start.
Alright, I'm starting it up.
Ready to run a Yana again. But my mage.
Alright, we're back. We rehosted surprisingly quickly. Thank you all for sticking around. We're back. Same thing as always. We have now 3-1. We rehosted from that scoreline. And still a lead here, being held by Calibrate Titans, but they are going to face a bit of a momentum shift, I'd say, by actually by Desolate. Admittedly, Desolate did manage to actually win the last round, even in a 4v5, which is not a great sign, not a great feeling, really, for Titans. But Titans going to now be looking after this rehost, which might have sucked out some of the momentum under the feet of, really, of Desolate, and might have actually put it right behind, actually, Calibrate Titans. So we'll have to see how that really affects them. But depending on how that sort of changes, how this rehost affects that, we could be looking at an ultimately useless, I'd say, rehost, really, from pardon me, Desolate. I don't know why the rehost, it might have been game chat and you can't rejoin or something like that, I don't know. But a variation here after that last round, which was unsuccessful on this site. I'm going to be going to change it up a bit here and switching up those castle spots, but also changing out Mute for Bandit, and then I believe the other change would be, what, Legion maybe? I'm gonna have to go back. My Astro for so now bringing sort of Batman and Robin combo of Daredab as the Jaeger and Azrael as the Wamai. Used to be a lot stronger in the 22nd meta, but both of them got nerfed pretty hard this season. So not as strong, but still a strong combination for moving throwables from attacking team. This time, in this case, it would be Desolate actually, but not a whole lot of throwables actually. And I'm gonna immediately actually pull back that statement. 3 flashbangs, 3 EMPs, 2 impacts, 2 stuns, and 2 frag grenades. So, more than enough. More than enough to burn or delete all the magnets and the ADSs that are being used here by Calibrate Titans. But speaking of Titans, One Shot, sort of the leader of Titans, going to be trying to hold down actually Whiskey there with Ella's Scorpion Evo A1 to get the name down to a T. Interesting choices from him. He's also put the shield there, like right by the doorway between sort of Red Hallway and Whiskey, as Darker removing Dare to have first kill after that rehost. And that's not really the way that Titans envisioned this, but he's just going to be trying to actually damage check that wall. Now, frag grenade's going out. Does look Kiki trying to pardon me, trying to shoot it down actually into where the freezer would be. Now, EMP goes down as well as the thermite battery, thermite charge, but Lucius unable to get a battery in time down to stop it, even though it was in the middle of the wall, so it could have just put down one anywhere. 5v3 though, Mine takes down One Shot. This is not looking so great for Calibrate Titans. And this is making me begin to contemplate if maybe that switch and that rehost there after the 1 to 3, maybe that was sort of a tactical timeout of sorts for Desolate to sort of throw off the mojo of actually Titans, and it certainly seems to have done its job if that was its intention. Because they're now going to be a bit troubled here. Mine getting a double onto Lucius, managing to frag out as Thatcher. I can't make any funny name set references as Mine gets the 3K complexity, takes down Azrael, but Azrael trading himself, and unfortunately too many members of Desolate still alive for it to really matter, and they will take the round and go up, and still, no, not up, down still, but a bit closer here now, 3-2. Looking at the comments again, but yeah, and this is the final round of the first half. Not surprised at all by the Ace or Malusi bans. I already mentioned the Goyo and Sledge bans, but both Ace and Malusi strong operators. Ace, a pretty common ban on this map, as well as on Villa. We saw him banned there. I think we also saw Malusi banned on Villa as well. Both of them very strong, and Malusi will be banned next season, or not banned, nerfed, to hopefully alleviate some of the bans, the ban rate that she has. Alright, and now as you can tell,
10 seconds left.
for the final round of this first half, gonna try and hold what they thought, or what they believe is their weakest site of actually bar and cocktail, not bar and gaming, just so that way we are clearing up the air, not gonna confuse it actually with, that would be Chalet, which could very well be added into the competitive map pool soon, in place of a different map. Maybe Border would be added next season, since it is being reworked. We'll just have to really wait and see on that side, since that could sort of affect it, since Border used to be a comp map, was actually taken out last year, at the beginning of last year, in favor of New Oregon, which has been very popular, a bit more of a fringe map, but still very popular. Darker getting rid of that mute hammer, which is going to allow JR, once he reaches that wall, to open that up as easily as he can, which is quite easily, since there's nothing on it, and nothing to punish him for, nobody to punish him for going for it. But just looking to be a fairly tight setup here, actually, by Titans. All of them sort of somewhat concentrated, I'd say, around the cocktail side of the objective. Just trying to hold down, use the soft walls that they had opened up, the soft flooring and sort of decoration. I'm trying to think of the best way. Decor, I think, is the simplest way to put it for me. that has been opened up. Their IKEA eyes, in my words, by Ezreal, as the Oryx, who's roaming below right now, might have to face some clearer, actually, by Mind. He's just holding the angle here. He's going to rotate back, it appears, just holding the angle, waiting for him to appear, but going back to sight. Actually just playing themselves sort of conservatively here. Almost all their team sort of concentrated around the side. Obviously 2 roamers, the Daredap as the Jaeger, the Daredap. And then Azrael as Oryx is going to be holding White Stairs there. And now Lucius back on side. Nitro going out from him. Unfortunately missed, so has to now go back and pick it up. But might be in a bit of danger, so can't exactly safely pick it up. Luckily for him, he is able to 5v4 the Complexity taking down Azrael. And now on the Gemini replicator is Kiki there. Did not spot anybody. Did not have to lose the replicator. It appeared. A frag grenade about to be prepped by him. Does throw the frag grenade. I don't know what it does. Lowers one shot to the tab. Now Mind himself being lowered there. 4v4 though, as one shot picks off Kiki. Mind got about half health here. Trying to push through. Trying to push actually through Cigar Shop. As JR now going to move into Bar. Complexity trying to push through White Stairs. Just take out Daredap. So there goes any sort of hold on the White Stairs. Lucius. And General, the last 2 left for Titans as there goes actually Azrael at the hands of somebody. I'm not sure who. General takes down Complexity as Lucius removes JR. 2v1 however, and Lucius was down, so all it takes is a crossfire, namely Darker and Mind, as you can see, to win the gunfight, get the round for Desolate. They certainly are. They went from up 3-0 to now tied 3-3, or down 3-0 to 3 to now tied 3-3, and this might be the beginning of a sort of Cinderella story from them, even though they are the winning team, the quote-unquote dominant team, because usually winning equals dominance in that sense, I suppose, but they have a lot of momentum in their court now, so they've won 3 rounds in a row here against, actually, Titans, and now they'll be on defense here, going actually to the tertiary site for Titans. Theoretically, their primary site, likely their primary site, their main objective of Cocktail and Bar. Bringing a interesting lineup. I'm not surprised, really, but it's an interesting combination. Bringing the Bandage there for some wild denial. Bringing the Jaeger there as the almost always pick. No real reason not to bring him unless you can sort of afford to not play him. I think he'll be banned, which is an unlikely scenario. He's not a common ban. And then the Valkyrie for the intel, always a strong pick. Legion to slow down the attack, really, waste their time, potentially prevent a plant. So he's usually a strong play. And then Mind is the smoke, and Smoke has always been a strong operator, able to waste about a sixth of the round. As you know, each smoke may be worth about 10 seconds worth of time wasting of push denial. Potentially plant denial as well, as it can deny that if you put it down soon enough. But going to be trying to sort of fill that role will be Mind there on White Stairs, as he's trying to deal with what appears to actually be the Nomad, actually, of Daredap on that rappel there, trying to play Cocktail Windows. Does have the air jabs to cover any of sort of runouts or jump outs. 4v5 though, General getting the first kill of the second half onto Kiki. And a man advantage would now actually be Word Soup being formed by me, but the man advantage being formed by Calibrate Titans here. As you can still see, General waiting for any sort of jump out, has the skeleton keep primed, but deciding against using that. Alright, now as you can tell, not bringing the Thermite, actually will be Azrael bringing the Habana instead. Don't know why exactly. This isn't a site. This isn't a map really that focuses on hatches, unless you want to count those soft hatches. But those can be hit with an ash charge, an impact, a shotgun shell, whatever. 3v4 though. Azrael taking down Darker. Kiki already out. One shot, however, was also removed. Was removed sort of in exchange there. Trade going out, but man advantage being the result. The product of that trade, really, as Complexity can now fall back to where actually that'll be mine. Both of them now holding sort of that white hallway there, and now they're not gonna. Excuse me, we're gonna rotate around here to that skylight to heaven. Complexity being lower there as Lucius tries to push forward here, using that Jackal Inox to scan some people. Complexity getting a kill on a Daredevil for 3v3 now. These two teams have evened up here. 20 seconds left. The push needs to be made by Titans. They're running low on time. They seem a bit overwhelmed here. Trying to throw it on the smoke grenade would be Lucius, but gets zapped by an ADS right behind him. Complexity getting a double onto Ezreal. It's a 3v2 now. It's a 3v1. Mine gets a double onto General. It's up to just Lucius. Does not have enough time. And with the goo in him, the round runs out. The round will go to Desolate. It's been 3-3 every time Titans got this. What's map count and score? Score is 4-3 right now. Map count is 1-1, but Desolate, since they were coming from the winner's side, the winner's bracket, they have a map advantage, so it's technically 2-1 series point here for Desolate. Yes, as VZ just said. Now look at the scoreboards though. Thank you for the prompt there. Admittedly, this is after a rehost, so not exactly the most even way to show it. But General and Azra are leading their team with 2 kills each. Lucius in one shot, not far behind with 1 for Calibrate Titans. And then Complexity, no, mine leading us with 7 kills. Complexity actually behind by 2 with 5. With a combined total of 12. Which is an interesting comparison, is that 4 members of Calibrate Titans, admittedly after the rehost, will actually all combine together, equal the amount of kills Mind and Complexity together have gotten. Just an interesting comparison, really. Alright, and now going actually to first floor here will be Desolate. Bringing the mirror, interestingly enough, you don't see that every day. We've seen, however, smart plays from Mind as the mirror on Theme Park, which ended up winning them rounds, winning them games. Actually, there's one of the mirror windows there in Kitchen Cooking, facing Bakery, actually, so that's going to slow down any sort of pushes that are attempted by Titans onto that side. Mind setting up his second mirror window. I'm not sure exactly where. I'm trying to decipher that, really. Does not appear to be on the second floor. Does not appear to be on the top floor. Though that would be funny if it was on the top floor. I'm going to try and now find it, actually. And a pre-placed nitro set up right by that hatch there. And standing on top of the table will be fireplace table. Actually, Lucius, realizing that there's a nitro there, having to fall back. But he does take down the nitro's owner and user, JR, for a 5v4 now. And General, oh my, General, bringing out not just the fuse, who's often a sort of, not so much hated, but useless, and bemoaned, disliked, I suppose, operator. Bring in the 6p41, not even the strong weapon on him, bring in the meme gun. Oh, barely even a meme. It would have been, I mean, even more of a sort of thrower's action if he had gone for the shield. But considering that that's not the smartest choice, going for the next best thing. Now, once again, Cluster Char's going to go out, just starting to shred the tiling there of Kitchen Cooking, and now there goes Darker, as he's lowered as well as mine, but Darker getting the worst of the two, comparatively speaking. And a nest of beauties being set up there by Complexity as he now smokes out that freezer door. He's already used 2 out of the 3, but there's low time here, about 30 seconds left before 5v4 man advantage favoring Titans, but they need to make a move soon. 4v4 though, Kiki removes that man advantage by taking down General Lucius. However, gets it back, trading his teammate with her double kill actually. 15 seconds left, 1 shot is actually killed there by Mine, but now Lucius wiping out Darker. It's a 3v2, up to just Mine, up to just actually Complexity as Lucius gets the 4k, the squad wipe, looking for the ace now. Azure looking for the plant now. Complexity gonna now push down that red hallway. Now Daredevil spotting him, gets the kill. Denies his teammate the ace, unfortunately, but it doesn't even matter. They got the round. They tied it up here, 4-4. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate you subscribing. Oh no, lol, Camarina. I don't know who you are, Camarina, but these two teams are tied again at 4-4. It's interesting to see. Oh no, Complexity. That's one way to put it. He did not have a strong round there. Unfortunately for him, but getting the squad wipe, getting the square of 4 corners really of kills will be actually Lucius. He's been a very consistent player for his team. They're sort of key here. Him and seems to be Daredevil also important part of the equation. Those two getting a lot of the kills, putting Titans in these favorable situations, which from there they end up winning. They just need to get the early kills and stick to that 5v4 with the trades afterwards. If they want to profit, if they want to proliferate, win more rounds. Now, as you can tell, going to be going down to kitchens once again, bringing the mirror once again. Same mirror window there. I don't know where exactly the other one is. I'm still trying to figure that out. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Where's the last mirror window of them all? Just to make a funny little joke about that. And I cannot find it. I suppose it disappeared without a trace from the inventory of Mind. Oh, there it is. There we are. On that soft roll there at crouch level. Mind holding that right by Whiskey Bar. I think that's a vault rotate right above it, so could certainly use that to sort of invert it, switch it around, really. Since it's on a soft wall, it's not as strong, but it means that it's also easier to play if it gets flipped on you, really.
Reloading.
Now, as you can tell, gonna be trying to actually gonna be trying to really just hold down the objective here. Will be Desolate. Almost all their team is on site or directly adjacent to it. Mind being the exception, really, in terms of on site, being the mirror there, holding the sort of extension that they've set up into Red Hallway there. In that case, adjacent. And now Thermite Charge goes down actually on that hatch there, and that's gonna make getting the freezer wall easier. And that's gonna also put some pressure there on the Jaeger actually of Kiki. Smoke goes out there, just make sure that there's no ADS on it. And now might go a frag grenade maybe, but there's no frags really for that. Kiki gonna have to be pushed back through that smoke grenade. Luckily for him, it's not a smoke babe, so it's in a fortunate position. Astro gonna use his second thermite charge now. His second exothermic. Actually, Brimstone opening up the freezer wall. Now droning out the objective, spotting there. Kiki as the Jaeger. He's gonna now push forward once again back to where he was before, since he's now functioning on a bit older intel. with two members here of Red Hall holding down Red Hallway. 4v5 though, one shot takes down Mind. There goes the mirror. It's up to just one person to hold down Red Hallway. 4v4 though, Darker trading Mind for one shot. And there goes the Thermite and the Thatcher actually. As Kiki taking down Israel, as I was saying that actually. So helping cover for that small mistake as General gonna take down Kiki. Underestimated JR, managing to not underestimate us. He's getting the double kill. Getting Lucius as well as Darodap. It's up to just General here on a 1v3. This round looks to be going the way of Desolate, and it will be 5-4. Desolate in the lead.
Operators, you have run out of time.
Alright, and now this is an important round in this series. As you can tell, 5-4. Desolate on series point leading here. And in order for them to really put themselves on series point, admittedly they already are there in terms of maps, but in terms of this match, in terms of the game, they need to win this next round. And in order for any real chance of survival, really, actually, by Titans, they need to win this next round and the round after, really, in order to put themselves on match point. They only have one opportunity, really, to make any mistakes. Because if Desolate wins this next round, they get put on series point, and then they would just have to win one more round to put it away. If Titans wins this, they tie it up, and then from there, the next round wins this map. Or the next round wins this map. What am I even saying? The next round gets their first opportunity, actually, at match point on this map. One of which, for one side, Desolate side, they would be at series point as well. So, really the important rounds coming up here. As you can see, going to be trying to defend top floor here will be Desolate, and Spawnbeak's coming out there from Kiki as the Mozzie, trying to find somebody so far out of luck, but has not had to pay the price just yet. Now spotting it would be a member of Titans there. It's appear to be eyeing actually Azrael as the Thermite, and he certainly needs to be cautious about taking that engagement. They did just lose actually Freezer, well not Freezer, the site that contains Freezer, which would be the first floor site, the ground floor site of Kitchens. So interesting to see that One Shot and Azrael both playing hard breachers, bringing the Hibana and the Thermite. So it's not something you see every day, and not only that's very necessary, considering that they could bring a Thatcher in their place to help deal with the utility there, such as the Mozzie pests and the Evil Eyes. And it does appear that now going to actually pick up a drone there will be the Mozzie actually of Kiki, who falls back due to some pressure from New Hatch, playing quite aggressively, but does not have to really pay for it, just has to play a bit cautiously there. And interestingly enough, Darker now going to be sort of flipping the script, actually bringing some very nice skins there. I have to admire those in a slight sidebar. Going to be trying to actually sort of flip the script here on Titans, actually bring that Oryx there, which we saw from Titans earlier on in this matchup. I've already sort of explained to you all why that's such a why he's become an actually viable roamer, but now going to be brought actually by Desolate, and there goes One Shot taken out by the Jaeger of Complexity. Azrael is well down, not out just yet, but down and out at last thanks to Darker, taking him away from the lines, from the ranks, the lineup of Titans, and it'll now be a 5v3 here. Window play coming out here from Daredab, trying to hold an angle, trying to find somebody to spot the feetsies actually there of Mine, who realizing that somebody's playing over there, deciding to ignore it now and actually return to site. No, he's not. He's actually going to be trying to get some sort of above angle. He does, getting Daredab with the shotgun at that close. It's over, really. There's no way that Daredab would have been able to win that gunfight unless he had gotten the headshot, which he did not. He did not even know that he was there. It's a 5v2. Lucius dropping New Hatch. I'm sure that actually that's got to be Darker realizing that. Darker in that sort of cigar shop there. Now, as you can tell, General as well dropping the red hatch. Using that skeleton key to figure that out. Lucius taking down Darker, but underestimated trading his teammate. And there goes a kill from Complexity. It is now a serious point here, as well as match point for Desolate. They are one round away from a championship. Now Desolate has two opportunities here to take this home, put this away, bring it in the bag, get it in the bag. They are at 6-4, match point, series point, 2-1 against Titans. Titans needs to win 2 rounds in a row here, attacking, in order to put this back into contention, in order to put it into overtime. Even then, that's a coin flip for them. But now going to be General, as you saw, switching from that bug, which he'd been on for quite a number of rounds throughout the series, to now switching it up again, switching it over to that fuse, bringing the cluster charges, looking to maybe deploy them above the objective here. And that, if they do manage to gain vertical control, which seems likely, this is best of 5. Technically speaking, it's best of 4, considering the fact that 4v5 though Kiki actually TKing Mind. I don't know what that was about. I don't know if that was an accident or some sort of reset, or they're trying to keep this game going. I don't really know.
10 seconds to go.
They'll have to just wait. I suppose on that side it's 5, but technically speaking it's 4, considering that there's a map advantage in favor of Desolate here, the team in blue. So technically speaking, it's best of 4. And if the two teams tie, then it will be to actually Desolate, because in that case, you know, it's they win one game, they win the next. So Desolate wins one, they're up 2-0, and then 2 rounds from it's just a mess, folks. I'm sorry. Doesn't even matter. You'll determine a victor hopefully soon enough. I do not want to be awake until 1 a.m. Nitro and Impact's gonna go out there from underestimated JR. Has not been underestimated by either team, has been valued by his team, and certainly, I suppose, feared, or at least understood, respected by actually Calibrate Titans, who are now going to try and push from above here. That's part of keeping the site closed for the defense and opening it up for the attack, is to take out this vertical hold. And the Miro is actually above. I don't know if they were going to... I think what happened is that they put down the reinforcement on the wrong side, and then he was going to put down a mirror window on it, and something like that. Daredevil, however, down and out thanks to Darker using a knife, and he's going to run out. Won't, however, get punished actually by Titans for that very aggressive play. Daredevil unable to really cover himself with any air jabs, so it is now a 4v4 here. Running out once again, gets the double onto General. It's a 4v2 though, as Azrael, however, was removed by Kiki. It's just Lucius and one shot here. They only have one opportunity. They cannot let it slip. Lucius going to push down White Hallway. One shot opening up that wall there. Gonna now rotate over to Cocktail. However, there's a castle barricade on that. Lucius here going to try and scan some feet, trying to get some pings for him and his teammate. Right below the site would be Kiki there, as the Mozzie shooting some shots out. 3v2 though, one shot, however. Removing complexity. 2v2, Lucius gets rid of Darker. It's up to just JR and Kiki here. The two sort of dark horses of Desolate. They are going to have to show up and take that spotlight and run it home for their team, take the torch, finish this last leg of the relay potentially for them and their team. Alright, and now as you can tell, Lucius trying to hold above. 15 seconds left here. One shot needs to make a push soon. Gonna now try and open that up, but it's muted. Oh dear. No time. They have to push in here. He gets taken out there by JR. Oh no. Oh, 5 seconds. One shot tries to push down the red hallway. But JR hits the headshot and gets the championship for Desolate. They will win the series 3-1, taking home Cafe 7-4. GG's to both teams. And Desolate is your Blizzard League Junior Varsity Champions.
GG, you guys.
GG.
Congratulations.
Ruby's a
GG.
stupid head. She's all like, "Oh, this is a best of 5," and I'm like, "We have a winner's advantage. We won't." Poo poo head.
Yeah. Is that it? Is that all we have to?
That's
Yeah,
it, we won.
We won.
We won the finals.
Good
Bro.
job. Everybody on my team's now a 1x, and I'm a 2x.
Dude, I'm able to calm down your fucking.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Mexican can achieve this. Especially me.
Okay, buddy. Okay. GG's. Titans. Sorry, my team's a bunch of cum rockets.
That's my dick.
I've
Nice.
been,
The
The tactical TK. That was the play, Kiki. The tactical.
Okay, well, there's nothing here for me, so yeah.
I can't.
Yo, GG guys.
GG guys.